No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. One night after surprisingly not being picked in the first round of the NFL draft, former Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders will wait for his name to be called tonight. ESPN NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. listing him as the best available prospect heading into rounds 2 and 3, and a couple of teams to keep an eye on regarding Sanders tonight, says ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano.
I feel like it's got to be one of those Cleveland picks, or else we're talking about a potential drop to the point where the Steelers might be in range to be able to get him after all. Raiders, very interesting, worth watching. That Geno Smith contract doesn't lock them in too much, but I think those two Cleveland picks, or if Cleveland moves back again, I think those are the spots to watch.
Browns have the 33rd and 36th picks tonight. Raiders number 37. Draft coverage 6 Eastern ESPN Radio, 7 Eastern ESPN 2 and ABC. Celtics small forward Jason Tatum, doubtful Game 3 in Orlando tonight with a bone bruise in his right wrist, 7 Eastern ESPN. Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant out of the potential elimination game tomorrow against OKC with a hip injury, reports ESPN's Shams Charania.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Monday, the NBA playoffs, the NFL draft are on deck, and I'll react to it all in my upon further review at 6:30 a.m. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. We are in New Orleans, Avondale, to be exact, on the West Bank, the best bank. Zurich Classic today here in New Orleans. What a gorgeous day this is. Beautiful people. We are at the Walk-Ons tent on 17 Green. Rory McIlroy should be coming through within the next hour. I expect it'll be a herd of people following him along. We're fired up to be here on this day. We got a ton to do, of course. Day one of the NFL draft in the books. We got all the headlines to talk about the rest of the weekend. LSU-Tennessee in baseball. Theriot will join us from BR in 1 hour. Got to get his perspective on be a really cool weekend for the LSU baseball Tigers and the 2000 National Championship team. Ton to do, but let's begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Round one of the NFL draft in the books, and so much of the conversation here and everywhere on Thursday was, all right, well, is it going to be Mykel Williams? Is it going to be the rapidly ascending Jackson Dart? No, dog, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to take an offensive lineman. This is how it sounded when the Saints picked Kelvin Banks.
With the 9th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr., tackle, Texas.
So 10 out of the last 12 first-round picks that the New Orleans Saints have made have been offensive or defensive linemen. 10 of the last 12 have been offensive or defensive linemen. And the two exceptions were Marshawn Lattimore and Chris Olave, both years where the Saints had 2 first-round picks, and the other first-round picks were Ryan Ramczyk and Trevor Penning, offensive linemen. It's what they do. They build inside out. They want to take linemen on both lines of scrimmage. It's what the New Orleans Saints do. It's what they did again here. So They took Kelvin Banks. I told y'all, and I have told y'all for, I don't know, the last month leading up to the draft, that when you are a roster as bad as the New Orleans Saints are, they are a bad roster. Like, we have got to be able to acknowledge that. This is a bad roster. You are old, you are expensive, you won 5 games a year ago. You need help everywhere. So I told you, whatever they do, I'm going to be good with 2 exceptions. One, trading up for a quarterback, because you can't sacrifice future draft capital. Look at the wheelbarrow full of picks Jacksonville gave up to go get Travis Hunter. He's a great player. But they gave up, when you're the Saints and you need everything, you need as many future assets that can help you get younger and more affordable. So that would have been 1. 2 would have been Ashton Genty. And it's not that I don't like Ashton Genty. It's that a running back in the top 10 is wasted value. Because you can get Travion Henderson, or you can get Quinshon Judkins. You can get great running back. You can get Dylan Sampson later in this draft and get a very valuable piece. So they went with an offensive lineman. And if you listen to what Ellen Moore had to hit it.
Ellen Moore
had to say after the draft, they loved Kelvin Banks on their board at 9.
Yeah, it was right at the top. We had a couple guys that were there that felt really, really good with, and certainly felt like the ability to increase our offensive line was just an excellent opportunity for our football team, just the identity of it and what we want to do.
Okay, so stay true to your board. If you're sitting there at 9 and you love Kelvin Banks and he's at the top of your board at 9, take him. I'm good with it. Look, last year when you started 2-0, your offense was intact. Everything started to unravel whenever you play the Eagles and Eric McCoy goes down on the 3rd offensive snap, and after that, it was a domino effect. The only offensive lineman that played the full season was Trevor Penning. So, yeah, you need to solidify. When the Saints were great, they had the best guard tandem they had 2 all-pro guards with Jari Evans and Carl Nix. You had a franchise left tackle. Yes, absolutely. I'm good building on the line of scrimmage. So go get that guy if he's one you had. And, I don't need to sell you on Kelvin Banks, the player. We all love Will Campbell, won the Jacobs Blocking Trophy, best offensive lineman in the SEC. He was the co-winner of that award, by the way, with Kelvin Banks from Texas, who was a 3-year starter at left tackle and in 3 years allowed 4 sacks. Will Campbell, by the way, in 3 years allowed 5 sacks. They're both awesome. You want to look at Kelvin Banks' Pro Football Focus number? His overall offensive grade a year ago was an 86.2. His pass blocking grade was an 89.9. His run blocking grade was an 81.0. All of those are on par with or better than Will Campbell's, and he was only penalized 7 times. Fewer than Will Campbell. I love Will Campbell. He's the best lineman in the draft. That's why he went 4th overall. But we're splitting hairs here with elite left tackles. So another thing Kellen Moore was asked is if they see Kelvin Banks as a left tackle, because this is going to be interesting as well, how he fits. Here was Kellen Moore about if they see Kelvin Banks as a left tackle.
We're going to give it plenty of flexibility through this whole offseason process and allow those guys to kind of go through this, give ourselves the flexibility to get the best 5 on the field because we feel like we have depth beyond that, and so it's going to be a great opportunity for us.
Best 5 on the field, I can understand being non-committal about where you're going to go. But the bottom line is you got a guy who was a dominant left tackle. The Pro Football Focus grades check out. The sack numbers check out. The run blocking grades check out. He's durable. In 3 years, missed 1 game. It was the SEC. Remember that whole story around the SEC championship game when Texas played Georgia? He had the ankle injury, missed it, was back for the playoff game against Tennessee. So what does Mike D always say? Best ability, availability. Dude's been available. And you could look at his combine numbers, and he was a freak show at the combine this year. So he goes and puts up monster numbers at the combine. We know the Saints love them, a relative athletic score. So, I look at this and I go, check, 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 check. The only thing is, it just doesn't feel good to keep drafting offensive linemen. But it's like, it's the, y'all know I'm a partner in Parish, construction and roofing. I'm an owner of a roofing company. I know it sucks to spend 30 grand on a roof. Ain't nobody in the world like, hell yeah, I'm going to spend those 30 G's on a roof. Nobody in the world thinks that. Or an AC, whatever it is, right? You'd rather take that money and buy a car. You'd rather go on a couple of elaborate vacations. That's fun. You want to buy your toys with your play money. But the reality is, you can live your life without spending the extra 30 G's on a car or without taking the super elaborate vacation. Try living your life in Louisiana with a leaky roof or without an AC unit. Can't do it. Like, there are things you have to have. You have to be good at the line of scrimmage. If you want to protect your quarterback, if you want to have a running game, like, you got to be good. So get good linemen. So, and by the way, it is also so rare to find a dominant offensive tackle outside of round one. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I said rare. Teron Armstead's a great example. Look, I can look at Jordan Mailata from the Eagles, who's a 7th rounder. You can find starting and really good caliber players outside of round one. Absolutely you can. But more likely than not, when you find Rashawn Slater, when you look at Penei Sewell, when you look at Trent Williams, when you look at Tristan Wirfs, when you look at Ronnie Stanley, you are talking about first-round tackles. So you've taken one now the last 2 years. Hopefully your bookends are set for the next decade with obviously drafting Kelvin Banks and then a year ago and taking Tali Fuanga. So hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that works. And then you'll figure out how it's going to work as far as you're getting your best 5 on the field, which is what Kellen Moore talked about there. And there's a lot of different possibilities, man. Look, you have a hole at left guard. Maybe Kelvin Banks is your starting left guard this year. Maybe. Or maybe Kelvin Banks starts at right tackle and you move Trevor Penning to left guard. Maybe. Or maybe Penning moves to guard and Fuanga moves to right tackle and Kelvin Banks plays left. I don't know. But listen, here's what I do know. Whenever the New Orleans Saints drafted Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, he's a center. But they had a great center in Eric McCoy, so they made Ruiz a guard, and they made it work. Ruiz isn't a great player, but he's a starting player in the NFL. He's not a top half of the NFL guard, but he's a starting guard in the NFL. So I don't know what they're going to do with Kelvin Banks. He may be a better left tackle than right, but it may be the fact that they really like Fuanga at left tackle, and so they keep Kelvin Banks at right. I don't know what they're going to do, but you heard Kellen Moore say it. They'll get their best 5 on the field, and that dude is going to be one of their best 5 from day one. So you had to go get a starter. You got a starter. But this is one day of the draft, and I said it on Thursday. I'll say it every time we ever talk about the draft. For all the conversation and attention and focus we put on day one and the first round of the draft, how successful you are in the draft is really made over the middle rounds. Yeah, you can always maybe hit on a late round pick, but really the success, the meat of the draft is in the depth of a draft and what you do on a day like Friday when the Saints have a 2nd round pick and 2 third-round picks. You go get a quarterback, a big-bodied receiver, a defensive lineman, or a rush edge somewhere in this day, man, now all of a sudden you're talking about getting young impact starters for you right now on this day and starting to remake your team. So, yes, I like what they did day one. I'm totally fine taking Kelvin Banks. What you do over the rest of this draft is going to define the success or failure of this draft because one offensive lineman isn't going to make over your team. But it's a start. You got a starting caliber player like when you draft top 10, you should do. What do you do with the rest of your draft? That's what we'll start to find out here on Friday night. All right, our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. If you're watching, shout out. I love this. Look at this shirt. I love it. The purple Bud Light shirt with the LSU Tiger head logo on it. It's awesome. Of course, Bud Light, the official beer of the Tigers, the official beer of the Saints, and, of course, the official beer of AFR. So, you're watching the Tigers this weekend against Tennessee. You're watching the draft. You're coming here to Zurich. Wherever you are, make sure you drink plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of the AFR. Okay, y'all, Friday's AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. All right, 2 things really quick. Number 1, deadline for our Parish Construction and Roofing $10,000 giveaway. The deadline to enter is 5 o'clock. We're drawing the name at 5:30. Deadline to enter is 5 o'clock. So go to parishbuilt.com to enter right now. You got 1 hour and 46 minutes left to enter, parishbuilt.com. And then also we're starting a power hour for the Dreams Come True Radiothon, something you've heard us talk about for this entire month. Dreams Come True, awesome charitable organization, raising money to grant dreams for children with life-threatening or terminal illnesses. And this hour, anybody that donates this hour, make sure I have this right, anybody that donates this hour until 4 p.m. Central, you're automatically entered to win a pair of tickets for the first weekend of Jazz Fest. All you got to do is donate between any amount between 3 and 4 o'clock. So in the next 45 minutes or so, and we got 5 pair. So we're going to have 5 winners. Anybody that donates between now and 4 p.m. Central, you're automatically entered to win one of 5 pair of tickets for the opening weekend of Jazz Fest, courtesy of 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Okay, y'all, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Let me shift from the Saints to LSU. Will Campbell goes 4 overall. I'll react to that next. Stick around. It's AFR.
After further review.
GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions at Glow Resources. Look, it's funny, we're here at the Zurich Classic, and Zurich is an international company. Obviously, you know that. Well, Glow Resources can help a company like Zurich, no matter if you're here in New Orleans or if you're in Europe or wherever you may be, or whatever line of work you're in. If your business is struggling to find the right people to make your business its most effective, its most efficient, its most profitable, that's what Glow Resources does. You see, most people when they hire, think of it this way. No matter, you're an expert at your business, but how many interviews do you do over the course of a year? Well, in a given day, Glow and their team will conduct about 50 interviews a day. So you're talking about 15,000 interviews a year that they conduct. They're experts at knowing the right questions to ask to find the right people for your job. So check them out online at glowresources.com.
Bayou Ford is taking 15 to 20% off all new 2024 models in stock. 15 to 20% off all new 2024 Ford models on our lot. Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
With the 4th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Will Campbell, tackle, LSU.
You are brought to New England to protect Drake May. What kind of tone are you going to set on this offensive line?
I'm going to fight and die to protect them with everything I got.
Congratulations.
How do you not love it, man? Drake May loved it. I don't know if you saw Drake May, the New England Patriots quarterback, quote tweeted the video of Will Campbell's NFL Network interview on the set there at the draft, and he said, "Love this guy already," with a fire emoji, LFG. It's already been seen 2.5 million times. Campbell is, we know the history that he's made now. Will Campbell becomes the first offensive lineman selected out of LSU since Alan Faneca in 1998. But I think what's lost for some is that Alan Faneca was the first ever offensive lineman selected in the first round out of LSU. So now Will Campbell becomes the highest selected offensive lineman out of LSU and just the second ever, joining only the now Pro Football Hall of Famer Alan Faneca. So it's amazing for Will Campbell, and we all know the story, and we've been privy to it, thankfully, because he's a guy who's from Louisiana, went to Neville, was an awesome high school prospect, a guy that chose to stay in the state of Louisiana and play at LSU and play for the hometown team. And it's so rare. It is just so rare, y'all. I know we say this a lot in sports whenever there's a big matchup or a big-time prospect comes in. It's just so rare that you ever have people live up to the billing. It's just the nature of sports. We hype things, we talk about things, and seldom will it ever live up to the billing. I mean, just look at the Super Bowl this year. Like, it was not a competitive game. Look for all the talk about could Patrick Mahomes, his legacy, is he chasing Tom Brady? They get blown out. Look at the national championship game with Ohio State. They blow the doors off of Notre Dame. Like, it's just so rare that we ever get to see something that lives up to the hype of what it is billed. How many times have you seen a prize fight like the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight that we waited forever to see that ended up being a total dud? Like, and so when those moments come where someone does live up to the potential and the promise and the hype, or a game or a player, anything, it means even more. That's why, like, when we talk about five-star athletes, it's so unfair to them because they don't ask for that hype. They don't ask for all the expectation on them. You know, that's what comes with the recruiting services. I mean, I can run through the list. Like a couple weeks ago, we were sitting at Don Juan Cigar Bar and I had Russell Shepard with me, and Shep was as hyped an athlete as ever came to LSU. And Shep had a really good career, man. He played some quarterback, some receiver, some running back. He goes to the NFL, spends 9 years in the league as a receiver. He's a special teams captain for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But like most people would look at Russell Shepard's time at LSU and go, bust. I'm like, someone else put on him. But all that to say, I mean, dramatically underappreciated, and so many guys are. But all that to say, when a guy like Will Campbell comes, who's a five-star, who's the offensive lineman you've been watching since he was 14, comes to LSU, and from the first spring as an early enrollee, takes over like 3 practices in at left tackle and never relinquishes that job. And not only did he never relinquish the job, he was as dominant as you ever could have wanted to see at that spot. I don't know how many times we'd go out there to practice at fall camp or spring or whatever, and I got my notebook, and I'm sitting there watching the pass rush drills, the offensive, defensive line pass rush drills, and it's like it's just a one-on-one, man on an island. Like, there's no help anywhere. It's just you and me. And, like, it was the dominance was almost boring. Like, Will Campbell never lost a rep. That's not hyperbole. I mean, like, he never lost a rep. He was that awesome. So, like, whenever you have a guy that so clearly lives up to the billing, it's awesome to see. And it's even more impressive and fun to watch when they're a genuinely good person. I mean, I told you all the story last Tuesday, 10 days ago, I'm at Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, with the Miracle Children's Foundation, and there's Will Campbell handing out iPads to sick kids with cancer at a children's hospital. Just less than 2 weeks, 10 days before he's about to get drafted, or 9 days before he's about to get drafted. And, he didn't have to do that. He didn't get paid to do that. Nobody would have known he was there if the folks at Miracle Children's Foundation didn't invite me to come and sort of tell that story a little bit. He was good enough to sit and do an interview, but, he did it just because it was the right thing to do. So when you have that combination of a great dude from Louisiana who comes to LSU, who has a dominant career, who's a good person as well, is a great team leader, who then goes and becomes the highest drafted offensive lineman in the history of the program, and it just made himself, nearly $45 million in 1 minute when his name was called automatically with the draft slot value. He just made himself about $45 million as the number 4 overall pick. How do you not feel good for that? How do you not celebrate that? Now, we can look at the New England Patriots organization, which is the greatest dynasty we ever seen over the 20 years with Belichick and Brady. And obviously, since Brady's been gone and Belichick's been gone, the last half decade has been pretty bad. They think they've got their franchise quarterback who they drafted a year ago. Now you've got your head coach who, the fact that Tennessee ever fired Mike Vrabel is just stupid. But nonetheless, that's Tennessee's lost New England's game. And now you have organized team sports. The quarterback, the people who protect the quarterback, the people who affect the quarterback. Quarterback, left tackle, edge. New England has their franchise left tackle in Will Campbell, which was awesome. Awesome to see. Fired up for Will and how that all went. By the way, Will did give some perspective from the LSU perspective on being.
It means everything. They did so much for me and my family, and for me to be able to represent them the right way, I'll never be able to repay them for what they did for me.
That's a guy that we will love and embrace forever here at LSU. One more from Campbell, who was asked about the culture that Mike Vrabel's building as the head coach there in New England.
That logo speaks for itself, but Coach Vrabel is a guy who I want to play for. He's a football guy, no BS. And I've loved everything that everybody in that building's about since the first time I stepped in there. So it's a complete honor to be able to have this hat on right now.
Awesome. It was the thing that everyone was projecting. By the time the draft went off, Will Campbell was minus 500 to go to the New England Patriots. They didn't budge off their board. He was the best offensive lineman in the draft. Despite all the conversations, the stupid arm length conversation, that was a non-starter, really. New England stayed true to their board, and they got the best left tackle in the draft. Congrats to Will Campbell, who goes number 4 overall. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. It's Relief Windows. The windows, doors, siding, and shutters. And they sell a premium product, right? I mean, their windows come with a lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. So, instead of replacing your windows every 5 to 7 years because of the humidity and rot that'll come along with living in South Louisiana, do it once, you're done forever. Buy a better product, have a better experience, and you're done forever. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, but also it's the experience, the quality, and the service that you get with Brandon Holly and the great team over at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Our Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We were there last night. Great time. Thanks to everybody who came out to the draft party or who watched along with us. Great spot to get all weekend long at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Standing here right on 17 Green at the Zurich Classic here at TPC of Louisiana. A gorgeous day, man. If you've never here and come to even if you don't like golf, it doesn't matter. Gorgeous day, great. DJ is sitting here spinning tunes on 17 Green. It's New Orleans. There's music, there's food, there's booze. It's awesome. Come hang out here at Zurich Classic this weekend. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Yo, we got a ton to do, all right? John Diaz from Zurich is going to join us next, give us some perspective on the great work that that Zurich International is doing in our Austin. Our buddy Erin Hogan from ESPN Austin is here in about 45 minutes. Give us some perspective on Kelvin Banks. Mintz will be here. You can follow all of his coverage at louisianasports.net to get the absolute latest. I was texting with Ross a bit ago. Sounds like the Saints are not. The latest from Ross coming up in hour number 3. Okay, don't you move. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Got a text today from a buddy of mine. I won't tell you his name. But he sent me a photo from Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, and he said, I'm taking your advice. Y'all, I said, you know somebody that's on HRT. I am. I have been since I was 34 years old. I've told you my story. Son was in the hospital for 9 months. You ever seen presidents go into office, come out of office, how much they age? That's what stress does. It is a physical manifestation on your body. That happened to me living in a hospital with my son for 9 months. I had the testosterone of a 70-year-old man. Simple blood test let me know that. I could safely and affordably supplement. I'll tell you, I spent $35 a week. That's what it cost me. $35 a week. That's what it cost me. Lowest prices at Goodwood, never any contracts. It's affordable. You want to regain your youthful vitality? You can do it. Start at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the 2025 Jeep Compass Sport for only $23,995. $23,995 or 2025 Jeep Compass with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. Fun to cradle and cool. A crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize, offers a range of discrete services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Welcome back, Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. One quick reminder, Dreams Come True of Louisiana. We're in a power hour right now. 26 more minutes. Any donation to Dreams Come True of Louisiana through 1045ESPN.com. You're entered in one of 5 pair of passes to Jazz Fest for the first weekend. Help us raise money to grant dreams for children facing life-threatening or terminal illnesses in the state of Louisiana. Go to 1045ESPN.com. One of our favorite days of the year, Friday of Zurich, when we get to come down here to TPC of Louisiana, get to do the show at the Walk-Ons tent. Got Go DJ Joel Satoon over there, blaring tunes. Got the best International is good enough to hang out with us here. John, it's good to have you. How are you, man?
Super. Can't be any better.
I believe so. So you're a Jersey guy. You work in New York. I would imagine end of April, you're probably still in the 50s up in New York.
About that. We're pressing into the 70s, but defrosting well down here in New Orleans for sure, Matt.
And you come bearing great news. I saw earlier in the week that Zurich renewed with the tournament for the Zurich Classic through 2030, which is phenomenal news. Walk us through the decision to continue this partnership.
Yeah, Matt, again, thank you so much for having me, number one. It's great to meet you here in person. I'm super excited to announce the extension of our sponsorship through the Zurich Classic and through 2030. You know, we started this relationship a few months just before Katrina, so in 2005, and have got to see that relationship really blossom over the two past plus decades coming across, and now ensuring we've got this relationship going for many years to come, and seeing that continue to flourish is just, you know, incredibly exciting. And you know, when we think about the reasons why, I mean, there's just so many reasons when you're coming down here and when you're in this environment. I'd say first, you know, the Zurich Classic has really become a cornerstone of the Zurich brand. I'll say it's one of the cities, commercial insurance doesn't always roll off the tongue for folks on what companies are here or not, right? So I think when you talk about Zurich, but in New Orleans, when you come here, when you mention Zurich, whether you're in a restaurant, a hotel, sitting in a business setting, they know what Zurich is, and it's really become synonymous with the brand. I'll say.
I mean, to interrupt you, like,
yeah, please.
When I talk about the event, I just said come down to Zurich. People just say Zurich, and everybody knows what you're talking about. It's not, hey, go to the golf tournament sponsored by the insurance. No, it's like everyone just says Zurich. We know what it is.
That's fantastic. That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll say second, this team event has been incredible. Once we made that shift in 2017, it completely changed the tenor of what what this tournament has meant to us. You know, I think Rory had mentioned some paraphrasing a little bit earlier in the week where he said, hey, it's one thing to win, which is always a great experience, but when you get to win with your friends, it just is this multiplying exponential factor and how great that it is. So, and then the way that they won last year and that thrilling victory, it's just becoming like a fan favorite and a player favorite for people to come into.
Were you there for the Don't Stop Believin' karaoke thing after last year?
I did not.
Did you miss it?
I did not. I had to run home, kids' activities, you know. So, but I heard it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience seeing it. So there was a show after the show, which was fantastic. I'll say third, again, brokers and customers. It's a great experience for us to engage with our brokers and customers. Again, if you can't have fun in this city and in this environment, then, you know, that's probably more on you.
Oh, man. You come to New Orleans, and the golf is awesome.
Yeah.
It's the best players in the world. But you walk the course. I tell people all the time, if you've never come down, it doesn't matter if you hate golf. Like, you will have a good time here. It's just there's something for everyone here, and it's just such a fun event. It's one of our favorite days of the year to come down. So Zurich extends, and you know, I think it's also interesting, John, that you did mention the timeline, because our audience will understand this. Like 2005 was so transformative, not just for the city of New Orleans, but for the entire state of Louisiana, because when Katrina came through, it reshaped the footprint of the entire state. There were New Orleanians who were displaced to Baton Rouge and other parts who maybe never went home, but this is an opportunity to come back. But people who embraced the city and the region during that time, you never forget it. Like it is one of the things that is sort of a seminal cornerstone that people remember who was part of the rebuild and helping everybody here get. It's like anybody, if you go through in your personal life, whenever someone helps you or your family going through a tough time, you never forget that. And so these relationships, events like this, the relationship with Zurich, absolutely do matter. So, you know, the why renew is part of that as well, being, you know, part of this community.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, that is, you hit the nail on the head, man. Again, you really just you hit the nail on the head, right? And
you need to hire me, man. I'll be the Zurich hype man.
You may be the next underwriter coming in for next, so we might have to talk after this interview. But in reality, you hit it again. For one of the other cornerstones while you're here is really around how we're able to impact the local communities and the charitable organizations around us. You know, you think through the past 20 years, we've had over $700 million of economic activity that has been as a result from the Zurich Classic and impacting the local businesses, as well as job creation, which has been amazing. You know, We've had our partnership with 4Kids, which we've had about $30 million of charitable donations over the course of that time. Last year we had $3.3 million, which was a record for us just in the 1 year, which able to impact 200,000 kids annually within the organization. So, you said it first. Golf is at the heart of what this tournament is about, but if there's an opportunity to make a positive change in the community and make an impact, that is just music to all of our ears.
Yeah, John, I'll give you just for a little bit of perspective. So my little boy is 11, or he'll be 11 in July. He's a little special needs kiddo. He goes to a school in Baton Rouge called St. Lillian Academy, which is very near and dear to my heart. They're an amazing blessing for families like ours with special needs kiddos. And the 4Kids Foundation, one of the benefactors has been St. Lillian Academy.
Yeah.
So the money that this organization to benefit Louisiana children's charities, and there's hundreds of them that benefit. So in a very literal sense, this event has benefited my son. So it's it's very real. It's not just a big brand and organization doing a thing. It's it does touch all of our local communities, which is awesome. Is so cool. And going through 2030, what do we see as maybe next? I mean, you get to come here every year and get boots on the ground and see all this, but extending that relationship, and what other ways maybe do we look at Zurich and continuing to accentuate and underscore this partnership?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, there's the elements of its resilience too, and New Orleans is synonymous again with, when you think about New Orleans, it is resilience. So there's elements of how do we think about the partnership on how we can, whether it's offering risk engineering or through Louisiana, and say how do we make it even a more resilient environment and culture through across the board. It is about, again, getting into what other we do, other charitable initiatives, like through Blessings for Backpacks and through St. Michael's Special School. We've got a lot of sustainability initiatives too. I think we're recycling something like 14,000 oyster shells over this as well to help the shorelines, right? It's thinking about all those areas where, whether it's community, whether it's, and looking for different partnerships and where we can build that bridges together. So
I remember we had the conversation last year about what Zurich North America is doing and helping with the Green Initiative to help things like the coastline of Louisiana, which is so important to a lot of people there, as we all understand. John Diaz, the head of customer and distribution management for Zurich North America. That's a lot of words, but I tell you, man, it's very obvious the impact that you all have, and we appreciate it so greatly, man. Anything else? If people want to get more info about Zurich North America,
ZurichNA.com, so ZurichNorthAmerica.com is where you can find us. But, again, I really appreciate this platform, Matt. There's a lot of folks that we'll see in your community throughout this. But, again, just really appreciate having this time, the opportunity to talk through, and just couldn't be more excited about this partnership coming through 2030.
So what are you getting to eat next? Eat, drink, what's the must?
The Drago's Oysters is on everybody's mind, so I have a stick of butter in my future.
I love it, man. John, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you
so much, Matt. I really appreciate it.
That's our pleasure. This is John Diaz from Zurich North America, spending a couple minutes with us here. We appreciate it. Hey, let me knock out our final break here of hour number one. We're at the Zurich Classic. We're on the 17 green right here at the Walk-Ons tent. If you're going to be by, come hang out with us. LSU and Tennessee do have a big baseball series this weekend. Give you a thumbnail preview of that as we continue here. It is AFR.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds here to remind you about Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group over at Action Industries. Say it all the time. If your business has a turnaround coming up, two things have to be in place. Number one, safety. Number two, quality. You got to meet industry standards. You don't get hired to do work inside the fence if you don't meet safety standards. At Action Industries, they beat the industry standard. And number two, you don't get rehired if you're not doing quality work. Well, Action Industries has been serving the petrochemical refinery markets here in Louisiana for 43 years now. Pretty good at what they do. You can learn more at actionindinc.com. That's Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com for Action Industries Incorporated. They're a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Remember, the Advanced Turnaround Group. It's a subsidiary of Action Industries. So when it comes time to bid that turnaround, remember the Advanced Turnaround Group at Action Industries.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Great talented team, obviously, have been for several years now. I'd just say kind of the simplest form, big arms, big bats. They, on the pitching side, they do what they do really well. And I mean that guy by guy. Offensively, they can really drive the baseball, and physical nature, and how they play offense.
Jay Johnson previewing this weekend's matchup. I mean, there's so much going on this weekend. God, we're here at the Zurich Classic on the 17th green at the Walk-Ons 10. By the way, big shout out to Brandon Landry and all the folks at Walk-Ons, good enough to host us here at the Walk-Ons 10 on the 17th green. This has kind of become the spot at Zurich. It's obviously so much conversation here. Zurich, the NFL draft, everything. But LSU and Tennessee has become kind of the preeminent matchup of the SEC slate. And I understand there's a lot of great teams, and I understand across college baseball there's a lot of great teams. Tennessee's the defending national champ, but it is your sort of new money versus old money matchup. You've got LSU, which is the standard bearer in college baseball, 7 national champions, the greatest program of the last half century. And then you've got Tennessee, which hasn't had great historical success, but in the last 5 years, LSU the last 5 decades, Tennessee the last 5 years, no one's won more than Tennessee, and they are the defending national champ. So it's always interesting because whenever, like if you're LSU, I mentioned this yesterday when Wes Rucker from Go Vols 247 was on the show. Like when you're LSU and you pop up on someone else's schedule, like it's cliche, but you know you're going to get their best shot, right? Like the butterflies get a little better, like the crowds are, like when LSU plays at Ole Miss, it's going to be a massive crowd. When LSU plays at Arkansas, they're going to ratchet up everything because it's LSU coming in. this is like the only time on the schedule where it feels that way for LSU with an opponent coming in, where you get a little bit of the butterflies. Like you see Tennessee on the schedule because they're the defending champs. It's almost like if you want to look at like a football analogy, you know, Alabama is that for LSU, but in a confined period, it was like Florida in 06, 7, 8, right? Like when the teams were volleying national championships, like that was the game in that era. You know, both teams have had their ups and downs, but like for that little moment in time, like that was the thing in the country. Well, that's similar where this is now. Like, I don't know that Tennessee has sustainability long term. Like, they've never proven they can do that. Now, maybe Tony Vitello stays there for 30 years and wins multiple championships. But if you live in the now, the reality is, like, this is a massive, massive weekend. Not only because it always feels like it ratchets up a little bit whenever you have a I'm posing for a picture. Whenever when there's the threat of a loss. That's when the intensity ratchets up a little bit. And I think you feel that this weekend, man. Thank you so much. It feels like that whenever when this weekend here is upon you. And there's just so much at stake this weekend as well. It would be one thing if this were the opening weekend of conference play, and it would feel big, almost like like when LSU goes and plays Clemson this year in Clemson, that's going to feel massive when LSU went and played USC. But a loss in that game doesn't eliminate any of your goals. Like, whoever loses this series with LSU and Tennessee, like, you're really up against it. Because both teams right now are 12-6 in the conference. And we always talk about your goal to get to 20-10. It makes you a virtual lock. Only one time in this era has a team from the SEC won 20 regular season games and not been a national seed. That was South Carolina in 2016. So it makes you a virtual lock if you get to 20-10. Well, you win 2 to 3 your next 4 weeks, or you're at 20. Well, someone's going to lose this weekend, and then it's going to put you behind the 8 ball where now you have no margin for error to get to that number. So you're at home. You got a really good opponent coming in. Both teams haven't been playing awesome lately. I mean, Tennessee lost the series to A&M. They took 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss, but by the hardest. Each game was super competitive. And then they lost last weekend a series 2 out of 3 at home against Kentucky. And we know we've talked a lot about LSU struggles, in particular offensively, over the last couple of weekends, 3 weekends really. And so both teams are fighting it a little bit, but they're both still in great positions. So, look, somebody's going to come out of this weekend feeling really good about the final 3 weeks of conference play. And there's going to be another team that's really going to be up against it, fighting it a little bit over the final 3 weekends to get to what ultimately their goal is going to be. So tonight's going to be awesome, man. It's of course, it's Cade Anderson and Liam Doyle. You know, Liam Doyle's a lefty that throws 100. He has been awesome this year. And Cade Anderson has proven to be every bit a Friday night ace as anyone could have ever anticipated him being, especially coming off an up-and-down freshman year where he was really good in the non-conference, not quite as good in conference play. I mean, his ERA was 27 in conference play last year. But he's been awesome this year. So, you know, Doyle leads the SEC in strikeouts. He had over 100 strikeouts already in 58 innings pitched, which is an incredible number. And so it's going to be a big-time challenge for LSU's bats, but the same is going to be true for the Tennessee bats going against Cade Anderson with 2 dominant lefties. That's something Jay Johnson was asked, like whether or not he is expecting, I think as we all are, a pitcher's duel on Friday night in the SEC with Anderson against Doyle.
You would think so, just from, good pitching usually beats good hitting. It's the nature of baseball. What I would say is if you're a baseball fan, if you're a pitching fan, if you're a left-handed pitching fan, like this is one of those really cool games, to buckle up for. And, what I like about our players is sometimes, when you get a good challenge like this, it's typically brought out the best in them. And that's usually a trademark of good competitors. But, I mean, that's every week in this deal, man. It's literally 10 super regionals.
If you want to feel really good about it, you could look at what LSU did against Kyson Witherspoon up in Norman. For whatever it's worth, Tennessee is a slight favorite in this game at -125, LSU -105. So, I mean, we're expecting a really close ball game tonight. It's going to be it's a coin. Like, I wouldn't bet this game for anything. I mean, I like LSU getting a run and a half at home behind Cade Anderson, but that's minus 145. There's very little value there. It just goes to show you, like, they're anticipating this being a really close, well-played game. And we'll see which offense can break through. For whatever it's worth, Liam Doyle has been really, really good this year, but he did have back-to-back outings on the road where he got a little bit. They lost at Alabama. He gave up 6 runs in 6 innings. And then the next week at South Carolina, he gave up 5 runs on 9 hits, went just 5 2/3. So he has got, but then the last time he was on the road was a couple of weeks ago at Ole Miss, where he went 8 1/3 and allowed 2 runs with 3 hits. So I don't think it's going to be easy for either of these teams this weekend. LSU and Tennessee. We'll talk to Theriot. LSU is going to honor the 2000 national champions on Saturday, so we'll talk to Theriot coming up after the top of the hour. Hey, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, remember, go see our friends at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. Remember, they got the $500 graduation bonus. You're a college grad, $500 on any vehicle for all college grads. So check them out over at South Point Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, y'all, by the way, wrapping up our Power Hour. Any donation to Dreams Come True of Louisiana for the next 5 minutes, you're entered into win a pair of tickets to Jazz Fest for this weekend. So go to 1045ESPN.com. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
All right, as we put a button here on hour number 1 from the Zurich Classic, love telling you about First South Farm Credit. You know, look around and all I see, acreage, man. Acres and acres and acres. You want to buy acreage to build a golf course, you can do that. You want to buy the land? First South Farm Credit can help you do it. I don't know that you're necessarily interested in building a golf course. That would be a really ambitious thing. Or maybe you want land for that hunting property, that recreational property. Maybe it's 200 acres in Mississippi, 100 acres in Texas. You're tired of sharing a hunting lease. You want your own piece of dirt. First South Farm Credit can help you do that, like they've helped Louisianians buy land since 1916 through world wars and the Great Depression, economic upticks, downturns. They've been through it all. And through it all, they've done one thing better than anyone. They help Louisianians buy land anywhere in the lower 48. So check them out online at firstsouthland.com. Make sure your first call is to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the 2025 Jeep Compass Sport for only $23,995. $23,995 or 2025 Jeep Compass with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Former Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders still on the board when the NFL Draft resumes tonight. ESPN NFL Draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. listing him as the best available prospect heading into rounds 2 and 3. Quarterback-needy Browns have the first pick tonight. ESPN NFL analyst Marcus Spears.
Look, I think Cleveland should pull the trigger. I thought Pittsburgh should have at 21, but if you Cleveland and you got this situation, he can be a starter in Cleveland probably day after tomorrow. So if I'm them, I would pull the trigger on Shedeur in one of those two picks in the second round.
Browns have the 33rd and 36th overall picks tonight. Draft coverage in an hour on ESPN Radio, 7 Eastern, ESPN 2 and ABC. Celtics listing small forward Jason Tatum, doubtful Game 3 NBA first-round playoff series against the Magic tonight. He's got a bone bruise in his right wrist, 7 Eastern, ESPN. Memphis' Ja Morant, hip injury, out for Game 4 tomorrow versus OKC. Down 2-0 in their NHL first-round playoff series, the Oilers will be starting goaltender Kelvin Pickard in Game 3 tonight against the Kings.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Monday, the NBA playoffs, the NFL draft are on deck, and I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 6:30 a.m. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN 2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After Further Review.
Say one more time.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're here at the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. 17 green at the Walk-Ons tent. Big shout out to Brandon Landry and the gang over at Walk-Ons for having us. This has really become the spot to be. Par 3 17, we are smack dab between the par 3 17 green and the 18 par 5 tee box. So all the golfers walk right through this walkway with people on both sides as they come through. And Rory McIlroy, Masters champion, set to walk through within the next half hour. They're expecting, I'm sure, we'll see the gallery following him here. But what an awesome day, great weather, beautiful weather, and a great time. So thanks for hanging out with us here from the Zurich. We got a ton to do. Just to quickly set the stage, Steve Worthy, president of the 4Kids Foundation, is going to be here bottom of the hour. We'll talk some golf. In 15 minutes, we're headed to Austin, Texas. Erin Hogan from ESPN Austin is going to be with us. Want to get some perspective on Kelvin Banks, the Saints' #1 draft pick, from someone who watched every snap he took at the University of Texas. Again, that's in 15 minutes from right now. All right, every Friday, Theriot is with us, but he's back home not only because we're at Zurich, but also because the 2000 National Championship baseball team, proof all these dudes are really old, their 25-year reunion. Holy crap, 25 years. Mr. The Riot, how are you?
What's going on, buddy? I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Hey, give us a rundown. What are y'all doing this weekend?
So they got tickets and stuff tonight. They're celebrating the 1975 SEC championship team tonight. And then tomorrow is, so there's a little thing tonight for that. And then tomorrow we've got crawfish boil at 2. And then just a lot of beer drinking. And then I think they're going to present us on the field before the game.
Heck yeah, they are.
Yeah.
25 years, man. Sure, go ahead. 25 years. Does it? Sorry, so, there was a lady who just walked up and took my stool. That's okay. I didn't need it. I'll just stand. She was like, no, but I'm just on air. The headphones, the headset mic didn't give it away or anything. I'm trying to think of a different way to ask it. We say, like, does it feel like 25 years? But, like, when you hear it's 25 years, like,
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, what resonates there?
Bro, that to me, like, when I hear 25 years, I'm like, those dudes are old. Like you said, like, it does not seem like 25 years ago. 25 years seems like a long time. I was thinking earlier today, like, you know, when that was happening, where did I think I was going to be in 25 years? You know what I mean? Like, those thoughts always cross my mind. I'm always thinking about, like, the future and what the future looks like. I have a problem with living in the present sometimes. And it just seems like yesterday, man. It does not seem like 25 years. I still keep in touch with a lot of those fellows. I'm excited to see some of them that are going to be in town that I haven't seen in a while. And so, yeah, man, it's just a really cool thing. It's a cool thing, and so I'm excited about it. We got screwed out of the 20-year deal because of COVID.
I do remember that. Hey, you know, something? I think we're all guilty of this at times. Like, when time passes, our memory shrinks, and we remember big moments, but we forget nuance. So, like, forever, when people talk about 2000, we're all going to remember Cressy's single and you scoring and throwing your helmet, right?
Yeah.
We're going to remember Ray Wright's catch over the fence in right field. Like, what will, aside from, like, those, like, what do you think about when you think about that College World Series championship?
Brian Talent, really that whole year is not talked about nearly enough, I don't believe. He pitched his ass off. I mean, he was really dominant that year for sure. You know, you think about some guys that contributed there in Omaha, Ben Saxon, Hunter Gomez, Trey Hodges, you know, that took the ball and really, I mean, put us in a position to win that championship. And I don't think they're talked about nearly enough. I mean, there was a few arms that really did some great things, man. Jeremy Whitten had a huge home run, you know, to put us where we needed to be. The captain, Blair Barbier, same thing, a huge home run to get us within striking distance in the championship game. And, yeah, man, there were just so many contributors. But I would say, you know, Ben Saxon, Hunter Gomez, Trey Hodges, Brian Talent, you know, those arms really were the catalyst and kind of the, you know, I don't think they're talked about nearly enough.
You know, the Ben Saxon piece is so interesting because Ben Saxon started that winner's bracket game against Mark Pryor
right.
in Southern Cal and beat him. I mean, it's almost unthinkable to say it that way. You know, over the years, you and I have talked a lot about that team, and one of the things that we're probably all guilty of is, like, when we think of the most talented teams, we probably forget about, like, how many big leaguers were on that LSU team. But it also felt, man, like when you ran up against Texas and Southern Cal and even UCLA in the Supers, that y'all kind of felt like y'all were the underdog talent-wise. Like, did Skip talk to y'all about that? I mean, was that he's a master motivator, but, like, what did he use in that postseason run?
I mean, man, we got really hot there at the end with the SEC tournament and then all the way through. Honestly, we never really felt like underdogs. There was a chip on our shoulders that year. And quite honestly, there was a chip on every one of Skip's shoulders. You know, not from a we're underdog standpoint, but we're so much better than the other team. And if we can't beat them on the field, then we're gonna fight them in the parking lot and beat them there. Like, we're gonna win something today. You know, like, he just instilled that confidence in us. And yeah, I mean, there were some big names. You talk about that UCLA team, you know, Chase Utley, and I mean, there was some big names that we did play up against and beat. But, you know, what's forgotten on that 2000 team is there was big leaguers that we didn't even mention, that Ryan Jorgensen's of the world who played in the major leagues, Shane Newman, you know, who had a hell of a career. Jason Scobie, who played in the major leagues. You know, these aren't guys that when you think about it, you say, oh, big leaguer, you know. You're right, man. That team was absolutely loaded with guys that continued to get better and better as their careers went on. And, yeah, man, it was a special group for sure.
Theriot, Fontenot, Brad Haupt obviously had the monster home run off of Pryor in that game against Southern Cal. I mean, it was a team that we probably didn't even realize at the time just how really, truly talented and gifted it was. And with Skip's fifth and final national championship, the 2000 team is going to be honored on Saturday, the 25th anniversary of that national championship. I know you've told the story plenty, but you know, it's all you've done this with me long enough to where I think you probably realize every year that you and I continue doing this, there's new people, younger people who maybe are hearing you and hearing these stories for the first time. Brother, 25 years ago, man, if someone's in college right now at LSU, they weren't alive when you all won the championship. So give us the play-by-play of your at-bat in the ninth and then Cressy knocking you in.
Yeah, man, it was a seesaw back-and-forth game. You know, quite honestly, I think had Stanford kept in their starter, you know, we wouldn't be talking about us being the champions. I mean, the guy was dominating us. Their stupid-ass coach took him out. Brought in another first-rounder who we ended up getting to, but you know, my at bat there in the ninth inning, I had faked a bunt early on in the game to kind of draw in the third baseman and move the infield around a little bit. I wasn't going to bunt. Skip hated bunting.
Smart man.
But the ninth inning came up and that third baseman reacted accordingly. He probably moved up 3 or 4 steps, man, and I just snuck a ground ball through the infield. You know, had he been playing normal depth, I think he probably catches it and makes the play. But then, was able to advance to second base. And Brad had really struggled, you know, that tournament. He was starting to break out of it a little bit. But, you know, truthfully, one of the most feared college hitters, I think, in the history of college baseball. And you know, he's bound to come out of it. And Brad tells the story that Skip pulled him aside and said, hey, hit the ball the other way, you know, stay inside it. And, you know, lo and behold, he yanks one to left field. It does the exact opposite. And so, you know, I'm rounding third or getting close to third base to try to score the winning run. And Bill Daly, who's, you know, one of my dear friends, is a third base coach. And Bill's kind of got this deer in the headlights look in his face. I'm looking at him for him to tell me what to do, and he's just kind of like nothing. So I said, screw it, I'm gone. And, you know, was able to slide and fired my helmet, you know, in the stands. I'd watched Armando Rios do that, you know, thousands of times. And then the celebration ensued. It was truly a dream come true. And what a blessing and gift to be able to bring that championship back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And for the LSU Tigers, that's a dream for any kid that grows up here in Baton Rouge to wear the purple and gold, number one, number two. Be a part of the legacy that's LSU baseball.
Theriot was 1 for 5 that day. The one mattered. It was the one that ultimately led to the game-winning run. By the way, it was Jason Young and Justin Wayne were the pitchers from Stanford that day, and Wayne was the reliever that they went into, that Mark Marquez went to, and ultimately gave up what would be the game-winning run. Theriot is with us here as he is every Friday. The 2000 National Championship team is going to be honored on the field Saturday, so give them the ovation that they deserve. Hey, by the way, Parrish Construction and Roofing, 47 minutes left if you want to win 10 Jeepers. 47 minutes left. Go to parrishbuilt.com. By the way, this is all your money we're giving away. I'm not giving up any for it. It's yours.
Guys, we're giving away $10,000. We gave away $5,000 last month. Okay, we're giving away $10,000 this month. All you have to do is go to parrishbuilt.com, register to get a free roof inspection. Okay, we're not asking for anything. Just let me get up on your roof, and you're entered to win a chance to win $10,000. I will come to your residence, and I will make it rain on you. 10 grand, no harm, no foul. Get the money. Take a vacation, whatever it is you want to do with it. Go to parrishbuilt.com and register, please.
Parrishbuilt.com. Again, we are cutting off the entries at 5 Central, so that's 47 minutes, and then we're drawing at 5:30 on the show today. So you have 40. If you have been hearing us talk about this, you'll be, I forgot. Like, you have 47 minutes, and then we're cutting off the entries. So go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Go ahead.
I noticed my guy Mike Papirski registered a little while ago. Pap wants the 10 grand.
Let's go, Pap.
Pap wants the 10 grand.
Oh, Pap. Yeah, Pap. Hey, before you go, your 2000 national championship team also got swept by Houston.
Yeah.
Y'all had, like every baseball team has moments. This LSU baseball team had a pretty low moment on Tuesday, getting run-ruled by Northwestern State. What do you think about this weekend with Tennessee coming in?
Yeah, look, it's been a low week, right? I mean, I think last weekend and then this midweek series, and that's okay. I mean, that happens throughout the year. You hit the nail on the head. Southern beat us at home, dogpiled on our mound.
Yep.
It's baseball. What people don't understand, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Is the game of baseball is like no other. There's so many variables that go into the game that affect whether a team's going to win or lose. And this adversity that this team's figuring out right now is extremely important. Now, I'm not downplaying the importance of this series either. I think if you want a national seed, and if you want to be one of those 7 that has that opportunity, this weekend is big. You can right the ship real fast with 2 out of 3 from Tennessee at home. And I firmly believe these guys will do that. It's a very talented team, and no, I think it was good that it happened when it did. I'd much rather lose those games now than lose them later on in the year.
All right, Mr. The Riot, enjoy the weekend, man. I know you and the boys deserve it. Have a great time together. To those that I know, tell them I said hello, and y'all enjoy the time, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
See you. That's Mr. The Riot, Ryan Theriot. We're here at the Zurich Classic in New Orleans. Well, now I got a quick break. When we come back, we got a ton to do. When we come back, we're going to head over to Austin. Our buddy Erin Hogan covers the Longhorns. He does mornings, on ESPN 102.7 there in Austin. And I want to get some thoughts on Kelvin Banks, a guy who saw every snap of the New Orleans Saints first-round picks career. We'll talk to Erin Hogan from ESPN Austin when we come back. It's a Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are here at the Zurich Classic. Stick around here on AFR.
AFR.
Y'all want to take 60 seconds, just 60 seconds, and implore you to call Duplessis Builders. You've been on the fence. You've been thinking about a pool. Can I afford it? Do I want to do it? Who do I call? Going to get quotes? Who's going to do it right? Listen, first of all, you can go to Instagram and look up a lot of pool builders. And a lot of people have really pretty pictures on their Instagram of pools. That's a fact. There's a lot of companies that have pretty pictures of pools. Duplessis is one of them. But they're one of many. When you're picking a pool builder, what really matters, and if you know someone who has built a pool at their home, you probably know someone that can tell you horror stories of that process. With Duplessis Builders, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to get the exceptional quality. It's why they offer a 10-year workmanship warranty, and Derek and his team will be through there every step of the way. They have a full book that explains the entire process before they even get started. You can go to the website, look at the Your Book tab at the top. It's DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
Bayou Ford is taking 15 to 20% off all new 2024 models in stock. 15 to 20% off all new 2024 Ford models on our lot. Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Saints win offensive line in round one. Again, man, they got a good player. Kelvin Banks, 3-year starter left tackle at the University of Texas, a guy who saw every single snap of his career. There's our buddy Erin Hogan from 102.7 ESPN there in Austin. Erin's good enough to join us now. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
Hey, Matt, good to talk to you. And, yeah, I think you did get a good player. The Saints fans got a good player last night.
Yeah, man, give me just a big picture perspective. When I say Kelvin Banks, what stands out?
Just maturity. Walked in here as an 18-year-old, as a true freshman, 5-star kid from North Houston, and started every game. Humble, quiet, hard worker. His freshman year, Matt, he, as a true freshman, was thrown in the fire because they needed a left tackle. And I believe in that first year, he went up against 4 guys who were drafted in the first round in that draft that April. Will Anderson being one of them, Will McDonald from Iowa State, kid from K-State as well. 4 guys that went in the first round that year as pass rushers, and Kelvin didn't give up a sack as a freshman. And I just think he got better and better. He can get more physical, but he just turned 21 years old, and that guy's going to, show up, go to work, and be a really, really good football player for the Saints for a long time, I think.
Yeah, it's a great point. He just turned 21 last month in March. So still a young guy with a ton of experience. One of the big questions here, Erin, is where does he play? The Saints drafted Tali Fuanga last year, played left tackle. Like, is this a thing where maybe Kelvin could play right tackle or guard? I mean, is he versatile enough to where it could look like something he could cross-train?
I would think he could. I know Steve Sarkisian believes he's a left tackle in the National Football League. Because as you just said, he's only 21. I think he's going to get more physical, stronger even. And the feet is what it's all about. I mean, his footwork is incredible. He doesn't get knocked off the ball, off his feet much. So he stays with his block, which is the key when you're up against these great pass rushers in the NFL. I think he can be a left tackle. And Fuaga, you could, put Kelvin at right tackle, I'd imagine, too, for a little bit if you needed to. I just think he gives you a guy that is as solid as it comes. Also, he dealt with a lot of issues with his family while he was in Texas for a short amount of time. His mother got very sick, and Dad had to quit his job for a little while to take care of his mom, and he kind of provided for the family while he was here. So he's one of those guys that comes in with a lot of perspective, appreciation. But, boy, he was a 5-star kid that showed up here in Austin and played like one for 3 years. And I just think he could cross-train wherever you want him, but I think he can be a really good left tackle in the NFL.
He's on Twitter at Erin Hogan, ERIN, at Erin Hogan, ESPN 102.7 there in Austin. Talking a little bit about Kelvin Banks, the Saints' first-round pick. You did mention maybe the physicality. Erin, could you elaborate a little bit? Because, look, you talk about a guy that's the 9th pick of the draft. Obviously, he's a really good player, but everyone can improve. Where is the area, and how would you like to see Banks improve?
Just what you said. I think get a little more physical downhill. I do think one thing to remind your audience, Matt, is he only played 1 year in the SEC. And to a lineman we talked to at Texas, you guys know it very well. The SEC is a different beast than what the Big 12 was. And he played his first 2 years as a Big 12 player. And then, this past season, I think a couple times you saw where he, got up against some of those, big daddies, war daddies in the SEC. And, probably the first time, coming out of high school and then 2 years in the Big 12 where he really got pushed back a little bit and dealt with some of that. I think, again, that's a learning experience for him. And he won most of his battles last year. But I think just the first year in the SEC showed you a little bit that he's still got some work to do in the weight room, some of his technique, and just getting more of a pass blocking. I think he's gonna walk in and be ready. But in the run game and getting physical, he's got the ability to get outside and be athletic enough on those outside zones or whatever he needed to do. I just think a little more physicality. He's got plenty. He'll learn how to do it. I just think this just 1 year in the SEC showed he's got a little bit of work to do on that side of his game.
Erin, was there you always talk about players. You talked about this just a smidge, but I want to ask you to elaborate. Whenever there's a young person who all of a sudden comes into fame and money, you wonder how that might affect them. The NIL era kind of changes this, right? Because a lot of these guys have already made money. But can you elaborate maybe just on a little bit of Kelvin's personality? You talked about taking care of his family, but maybe how he's interacted with teammates or things in the community maybe that he's done with the type of person that the Saints are getting?
Well, I mean, I'll just tell you what Steve Sarkisian said when he put, this week when we talked to him about Kelvin. He said, he tells, his incoming players, if you want to be a great player, do things like Kelvin does. Act like Kelvin is kind of how he does it. He can't say enough about him, and I think that's across the board. I know a lot of folks who have worked with Kelvin in the NIL space that aren't, football coaches, and they all, he shows up on time. He's doing his part in charitable stuff that they do, and couldn't be more humble and kind. I mean, that's the kind of guy you're getting, and I think you heard Kellen Moore say it last night. I mean, our kind of guy was kind of that Chris Peterson mindset from Boise when he was there and Washington. I think, obviously, on the staff in New Orleans, Bo Davis now and Terry Joseph would tell you that's just what that kid does. He shows up, goes to work, humble, quiet, and, he's not going to be a problem off the field, I promise you. New Orleans won't be a problem for him.
That's a great point, too, about Bo Davis and Kerry Joseph, having had that firsthand experience with him there in Austin, something we didn't mention. Hey, there's a lot of talk here that maybe the Saints might go back-to-back years with a Texas player in the first round, maybe Arch next year. 1 to 10 are odds that you think Arch Manning is in the NFL draft next year.
I broke up for quick.
Oh,
you
sorry.
Got me, Matt?
Yeah. Do odds you think that Arch is in? We're asking like if a lot of people here going, hey, draft Arch next year, right? Get your quarterback next year. Odds you think Arch, like 1 to 10, is in the draft next year, or does he return to Texas? Where does he fall on that sliding scale?
I would say right now it's probably 60-40. He's back for a second year. I mean, that's all indication he's getting. Texas could, take that next step. And, he decides he's had enough and he's ready to go. But everything he said to this point on this, is a degree in the business school, and he wants to be the starter at Texas for 2 years. I would give that about a 40% chance that it could change. But right now I'm going to listen to Arch and go with 60-40. He stays for 2 years.
He is Erin Hogan from ESPN 102.7 there in Austin. Good enough to join us. Get him on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Erin Hogan, ERIN, at Erin Hogan. Erin, I appreciate some perspective, man. Thanks as always for the time.
All right, man. Thank you, Matt. Anytime.
All right, be well. We'll catch you soon. It's After Further Review. Hey, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. Honest to goodness, true story. We did the show last night at Don Juan Cigar Bar. I left all of the equipment that was in the smoky bar in my car. My car now smells like a cigar. I'm probably going to get Parrish to dry fog my car this week to get it smelling fresh. Again, if it's your car, if it's your home, if it's your office building, they've dry fogged one of the largest commercial buildings in the entire state of Louisiana. Kill mold, remove odor. It's affordable. It's cost-effective. It's more efficient. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're rolling along here from the walk-ons tent at 17th Green and the 18th fairway. I think, is this Rory coming through? Yep. All right, so Rory's just about to walk through, and Steve Worthy's good. This is a perfect time. We'll have the executive director of this whole thing join us in a second, right, as Rory's walking through. It's After Further Review. Let me knock out a yeah, all right. This is the thing that we're all waiting for, right? Everybody's waiting for Rory to Bo, get a camera and record him walking through here. Well, I guess you can put that on. Yeah, go ahead. Turn the camera. That's fine, Bo, if you want to. If you can get it. All right, hang on. If you're watching on YouTube, Bo's going to turn the camera. He's coming up the stairs. I don't know if you're going to get it, dude. Let's see. All right. And there's Rory. There he is. Hey. Greatest 5 seconds of the day. Yeah! All right, y'all. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Bo. I need my clock. Thank you. All right. We're losing our minds here. We'll grab a break. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, let me take 60 seconds to remind you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. I'll tell you, Rory walks by for 5 seconds and we completely lose our minds. We drop the clock, we lose the camera, everything's gone. Anyway, Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Weekend is upon us. Whatever you got going on this weekend, throwing something on the grill, you making groceries with your mom and them. By the way, you're cutting off half my head with this shot right now. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Get by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. We have completely lost control. I tell you what. But I do love Rouse's. So you can download the Rouse's app. You can go to Rouse's.com. You go to Facebook, look up all their specials that they always have going on over there, which are awesome. 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. Get on by and see our friends at Rouse's. Full Slab Fridays for $11.99. Full slabs of ribs, and the 3-day sales going on right now through Sunday over at Rouse's. This feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You work hard every day to pursue a life you love. You put in the time, and it shows. You're forging ahead, chasing a dream, creating something better for the ones you love. You're building your own life. So why not build your own tractor? With John Deere tractors and attachments for almost any need, the Sunshine team can help you do just that. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the 2025 Jeep Compass Sport for only $23,995. $23,995 or 2025 Jeep Compass with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
All right, you've got 26 minutes to enter to win $10,000 from Parrish Construction and Roofing. 26 minutes. 5 o'clock is the cutoff. We're drawing in 56 minutes from right now. Go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. The link's on the homepage. Free, no obligation roofing inspection. Sign up. You're entered to win 10 grand. Go to parrishbuilt.com. Again, we cut off entries in 26 minutes. Parrishbuilt.com. It's always our pleasure to come here to the Zurich Classic every year. Spend this Friday here at the Walk-Ons tent. And we always get about 10 minutes to visit with Steve Worthy, who's the executive director and puts on this whole thing. And, of course, does great work with the 4Kids Foundation. Sir, it's always our pleasure. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely.
I know this can't be an easy thing for you to take 10 minutes to come visit with us because you're running a gigantic event. So we do appreciate you making time. First of all, how's the golf? How's it going today on the course?
It's well. It's interesting to me over the last several years, alternate shot has gotten better. Guys have gone lower and lower. We've seen Rory and Shane making a run today. Things are good. Golf course is in great shape. The players love it, and a lot of good golf going on.
Coming in today, kind of the report was maybe the weather conditions in the afternoon was going to we're going to see a few higher scores today, and then obviously with alternate shot as well. And the European players play alternate shot more, so they tend to do better in this format on Friday, right?
No question. We've had a little more wind. We've avoided rain, which has been wonderful, but a lot of Europeans have played well all year, and they certainly seem to excel in this format. So seen some of that today.
How did Brian Kelly and Garrett Nussmeier shoot earlier this week?
They were tied going into the last hole, and Thomas Morstead made a long putt on the last hole to pick their pocket, or they would have won.
You mean to tell me BK and Nuss get around the course a little bit? They find time to go play 18?
Coach can hit some pretty good shots.
Okay.
Garrett is playing, and he did well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I asked BK last year at SEC Media Days how much golf he got to play. He's like, not as much last year. Maybe some work to do, but we'll see. This is obviously such an awesome weekend. You mentioned the weather is great. And Steve, last year on Saturday of the tournament, you set the single day, the attendance record last year. How are we looking? Because today feels pretty massive as well. How are we looking as far as attendance from a year ago?
I was just calculating before I came out here. I think we may come up a hair short of last year's record on Saturday, but still hope that we're going to break it tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, so the attendance record was set the single day attendance was last year on Saturday. So here on Friday, close, but tomorrow maybe might surpass it. This is one of the great things about coming here is we also recognize that the Zurich Classic is the single biggest fundraiser, as you always say, for the 4Kids Foundation. But before I go any further, if you would just take a quick moment and explain to people who this might be the only exposure of the year they get to the 4Kids Foundation, what you do.
Sure. I mean, we're the host organization that runs the 35 in Baton Rouge, spread throughout the state. They're out here working these venues. They sell the tournament throughout the year. They dedicate a lot of time and effort and take great pride in the fact that we're raising money for children's charities. $3.3 million last year was a record. Very excited about that, and absolutely look forward to trying to beat that this year.
$3.3 million to children's charities. By the way, that's children's charities, not certainly in New Orleans, but all over the state.
100%. We're, we get a lot more support from Baton Rouge, seems like every year, and we're trying to give more and more in Baton Rouge. We're 250, 300,000 in Baton Rouge and growing. Like here we are at Walk-Ons. I would certainly consider them a Baton Rouge company and fun place to hang out. And we're, they're a big part of our growth, and I want to continue that.
Always encourage people, man, find time one of the days of the tournament or all to get down here if you've never done this. And it seems like, Steve, every year when I come in, even like last year, that part of the Walk-Ons tent wasn't there last year, right?
Correct.
That's a new addition,
It
right?
is. Yep. Continues to expand.
Throughout the years, continuing to find how you can make this even more appealing every single year for the patrons.
For sure. People who are hardcore golf fans want to come out and see Rory and Shane and all the best golfers in the world. But, we try to make sure we've got something for everybody. Tomorrow night and Sunday night we'll have bands. Obviously, Rory got on stage and famously sung last year, which was fun.
It was awesome.
We've got, from a food and beverage standpoint, that's what we're known throughout the PGA Tour for. For those who aren't all about the golf, they can come out and have found, it's a big festival. People come out and have a great time, and we encourage people, like you said, to come out and give it a shot.
Where else on the 17th green are you going to have Joel Setoun, the Go DJ, out here blasting tunes on the group just behind the par 3 green on 17? It's awesome, man. If people want to come this weekend, obviously you can get GA tickets. I'm sure, are all the premiums, everything sold out?
A few things still available on Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday sold out, and like you said, general admission are still available.
You can always get that.
ZurichGolfClassic.com.
ZurichGolfClassic.com. ZurichGolfClassic.com to get your tickets. Get on there. It's beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, too. Y'all were really blessed with great weather, which you always need. I'm going to let you go. I know it's a gigantically busy weekend, so thank you, as always, for a couple of minutes. Good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thanks for having me.
That is Steve Worthy here from 4Kids Foundation. It is After Further Review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here as we wrap up hour number 2. Muse Love Tigers and the Pros coming up here in just a smidge, and also coming up in hour 3. We got a lot of ground still to cover. Mintz is going to be here in about 20 minutes. We will get through our best bets for the college baseball weekend. We'll talk a little LSU-Tennessee, which is coming up. And Ross Jackson is going to join us in hour 3 as well. By the way, for everyone that was surprised about the Kelvin Jackson pick, and look, I was in that number. I mean, he had the third best odds, but all the conversation yesterday became Dart Michael Williams. Ross Jackson, in his final mock draft at LouisianaSports.net that he filed on Thursday morning that we published, he had the Saints taking Kelvin Banks. And he and I were chatting, and apparently he got some good info there just in advance of the draft and went with it, and he was right. So we'll see what Ross – and I was chatting with Ross earlier today. I know he's got a piece up at LouisianaSports.net. But he kind of has we're going to talk quarterbacks. We're going to talk quarterbacks with Ross, because I think he's got an interesting perspective on what might or might not happen actually with quarterbacks in this draft. All right, it is After Further Review. We're here at the Walk-Ons tent, of course, which Brandon Landry, we all know, famously founded and owned Walk-Ons. But Brandon also and Mackenzie Landry founded and owned Supper Club, been great partners of ours. And fired up, man. This was a really cool piece that was in The Advocate today from Chelsea Shannon. 8 Louisiana restaurants that deserve a spot on the Michigan Guide. That's according to the readers of the Michelin Guide. And among the restaurants that they listed that deserve a spot on that prestigious list, Supper Club in Baton Rouge. It is exceptional every time you go in. 2 things to remind you about, like right now in the immediacy. Number 1, the stone crabs. If you love stone crabs, you want to try them. They are as fresh as can come. At Supper Club, they buy directly from the fishermen. There's no middleman. So, like, the stone crabs are in the water yesterday. They're at Supper Club today. And stone crab season ends, I didn't even realize this, but it ends May 1st. So, I mean, you're talking you got 5 days. If you want stone crabs, you got 5 more days. Like, that's it. And then you can't get them again until October 15th when season opens up again. So if you love stone crabs, get to Supper Club. You got 5 more days before you can't get them for 6 months. Then also, Chef Layton was telling me earlier this week, they got a cow from Sagrera in this week. He said it's the best one they've gotten so far, which they're all amazing. But, you know, the way that they grade meat and grade beef, from the USDA grading scale, a 3 to 6% is select. That's like what you'll get at Outback or Winn-Dixie. You know, the 6 to 9% is choice. 9% and above is prime. That's the marbling. The cow that they got this week from Sagrera is 14%. They don't even have like a grading scale for it. It's like if you look at the Hall of Fame and you go, well, like Babe Ruth and Jeff Bagwell are both in the Hall of Fame. Well, like, this is the Babe Ruth cow. So you want to try it. They got it in at Supper Club, raised locally in Ethel, 100% Black Angus. Get on by and see our friends over at Supper Club. Get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. Friday shows brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar in Town Center. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Still got a ton to do as we roll throughout the day. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. There's a lot of people are asking about the Shedeur Sanders situation and him going undrafted. By the way, Booger McFarland was on SportsCenter and talked about the decision that Shedeur did not get drafted. Here's what Booger said about why Shedeur didn't go round 1.
It's amazing how the NFL views these quarterbacks. If you can't do the wild things anymore, if you can't throw the off-platform throws, if you can't throw the football 70 yards down the field, they don't necessarily view you maybe as a first-round quarterback. I think that's what the NFL says. I disagree. I think Shedeur Sanders should have gone in the first round. He does the things that a quarterback needs to do, and he does them well. Makes really good decisions, throws the football accurately, has good timing. I think he should have been a first-round pick, but I think the NFL is telling us they want wild things like they did with Cam Ward with their first-round quarterbacks, and they're saying Shedeur Sanders just doesn't do that for them.
But for whatever it's worth, there was a report today from Lindsey Theriot at ESPN who said in her reporting with the New Orleans Saints, she said, I'm reading this quote directly, "No, I do not expect for the Saints, based on conversations I'm having right now, to select Shedeur Sanders." So the Saints have a pick at 40, and effectively this is saying that if Shedeur is still on the board at 40, she does not expect the Saints to take Shedeur Sanders. There's still the possibility, obviously, the Saints could move up from 40 to take a quarterback, although some of the scuttle that we're hearing from Ross and other people is that maybe the Saints aren't in line to select a quarterback. Kellen Moore, after round one, when they selected Kelvin Banks, was asked about the quarterback, and he mentioned sort of like the flexibility, different options they have in selecting a quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, quarterbacks come from a lot of different avenues as you go through this process. Certainly, being around Jalen was a second-round pick, Dak was a fourth. Justin, he was a first-round high pick. But there's a lot of flexibility within that. You want to create an environment that allows these guys to be successful. That's important as you go through this. And so, certainly we feel like these guys that are here, that have been a part of this thing, we feel good about that room.
What they elect to do is going to be fascinating because the general feeling has been, and let me not even say general feeling. Mickey Loomis on Wednesday was asked if there was a feeling like Kellen Moore needed to go get his guy, and his one-word answer was absolutely. Then he gave some context behind it, but he very quickly said absolutely. So if you're going to be down Derek Carr, you were already looking at a quarterback anyway. Got to add somebody somewhere. The prevailing wisdom is it's in this draft. What we don't know is who do they like among the quarterbacks and where do they value them? That's something we'll probably find out here over the next 6 or 7 hours or so as we move through day 2 of the NFL draft. All right, our Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. 15 minutes. You've got now 3, 2, 1, 14 minutes left to enter our Parrish Construction Roofing $10,000 giveaway. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. You're automatically entered to win to win $10,000 cash. Just sign up for a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Entries cut off at 5 Central. We'll draw at 5:30. So you got 14 minutes left. Go to parishbuilt.com. That's parishbuilt.com. Okay, y'all. I got a quick break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros, and then Mintzy's with us in about 15 minutes. We'll give you picks on LSU-Tennessee and the rest of the baseball weekend. Don't you move here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorney. Speaking of deadlines, midnight tonight, actually 11:59, is the deadline for graduating high school seniors to enter to win one of 15 free MacBook laptops. So Gordon does this every year. It's his Gordon's Grads program. So go to gordonsgrads.com, 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 and you can get all the deets about how you can enter. It's a short essay or a video is how you can enter. Again, you can get all the rules and how you can enter. But 15 graduating Louisiana high school seniors are going to win a free MacBook laptop courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Again, the cutoff to enter, the entry cutoff is tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So go to the website, gordonsgrads.com, to get all the info, gordonsgrads.com. As we always say, you've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. You know what to do. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, get Gordon, and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Luba Workers' Comp, Our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here from the Zurich Classic Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Here we go, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, we'll start with minor league baseball again here today. Tommy White, he's starting to heat up for the Lansing Lugnuts. 2 for 5 in his game a night ago. One of the two was a double. That's his 7th on the season. The average has climbed all the way up to 284 so far for Tommy Tanks. We'll continue to keep you updated as he rolls through his first full season in professional baseball. Trey Morgan, of course, remember, started the season now in AAA. Part of a doubleheader a night ago for the Durham Bulls. 1 out of 4 at the top of the order. It was a double. He drove in 2 and would come around to score. Bit of a slower start for him. He did suffer an injury late in spring training that delayed the start to his season. So he's off to a 250 start. But Morgan, one of the ones we're keeping an eye on that could very well make his major league debut at some point this season for the Tampa Bay Rays. Alex Bregman, another really, really good day for the Red Sox on Thursday. 2 for 3. Drove in 2 out of the 3 runs that Boston scored. One was a solo homer that started the scoring. And then he also had an RBI single later in the ball game as well. He's hitting .320 and has just been a force in the 3-hole for Boston so far. Jaden Hill was on the bump for the Rockies in Game 2 of a doubleheader against the Royals. He pitched an inning and a third, shutout baseball, did not allow a hit. The only two batters, I should say, that reached against him did via walk, and he punched out 4 in the ball game. A 3.86 ERA now that he's got the call up back to the big squad, and hopefully he doesn't get sent back down this season. Speaking of guys who have been dealing since they got called up to the major leagues, Cole Henry. Cole Henry got the final 6 outs of the ball game for the Nationals against the Orioles on Thursday, and he didn't allow a hit. He didn't allow a run. He punched out 4 and only walked 1. What's even better, though, for Henry is he threw the fastest pitches of the ball game for either team, around 96 and 97 miles per hour they clocked in. And even more than that, he has not allowed an earned run so far since making his major league debut. The ERA is still a sparkling 0 for Cole Henry, really carving out a good role at the back end of that Nationals bullpen. NBA basketball, the playoffs. Ben Simmons, just 9 minutes a night ago off the bench for the Clippers. Didn't score any points, but was effective in the win, +9, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Also blocked a shot for Ben. NBA action tonight, Naz Reid and the Timberwolves, they face the Lakers. That series, even at 1 game apiece. Naz saw the production dip a little bit in Game 2 after turning in a stellar 23-point outing in Game number 1. That's Tigers in the Pros.
All right, thank you, Moose. Of course, we're presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. We are inching closer, y'all, to Mother's Day. Gents, don't screw it up. Got gifts for mom, no matter your budget. As a matter of fact, if you go to the website, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, you'll see the Gifts for Mom tab where you can see basically whatever your budget is, whatever price range, awesome gifts for mom. Also, they've got graduation gifts as well. You got the grad on your list. You want to get them maybe a beautiful writing utensil or writing instrument, a necklace, a pendant, rings, bracelets, watches. Great ideas over at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 9 locations. Where we are in New Orleans, 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, 5 minutes left. You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to enter to win the $10,000 over at parishbuilt.com. Entries cut off at 5 Central. We'll draw and announce the winner at 5:30. You got 5 minutes to enter, so go to parishbuilt.com. It's not too late. You got 5 minutes to enter. Parishbuilt.com. Parishbuilt.com. Just fill out the form on the homepage to enter to win a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Parishbuilt.com. Cutting off the entries in 4 minutes and 30 seconds from right now. Parishbuilt.com. Okay, Sports Center's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, Ben Mintz will be with us in his usual spot. Mintz, Muse, and I will give you our 3 best bets for the college baseball weekend. We'll preview LSU and Tennessee. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
Bayou Ford is taking 15 to 20% off all new 2024 models in stock. 15 to 20% off all new 2024 Ford models on our lot. Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Ben Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We are here from the Zurich Classic at the Walk-Ons tent. Big shout out to our friends from Zurich. Brandon Landry and the gang over at Walk-Ons for hosting us. Ain't no better way to spend a Friday in late April than where we are right now on a beautiful sun-kissed day on this golf course with people feeling great. The music is loud, the drinks are flowing, the food is hot. It is an awesome day here at Zurich. We're fired up to be here. Guys, been down here plenty. Is our buddy Ben Mintz, not down here this weekend, but with us on the phone. Mintzy, great to have you, man. How are you?
Man, doing well, but not as good as you, man. I've been at that set, man. That walk-on setup on 17, man, they really know how to throw a party there. Great food, I'm sure drinks flowing, beautiful weather. I'm jealous. I got to say, I've had a big time up there before.
Man, I know you've you've done this plenty. It's such a great weekend and a great opportunity just for people to come out and experience something we don't always get to. But you know, Mintzy, this is one of those weekends on the sports calendar where there's just never really a shortage of things going on, right? I mean, especially here you get Zurich. There's obviously the NFL draft going on, and then LSU-Tennessee in baseball this weekend, which is, you know, you and I always chat about college baseball, and we do our picks here. Muse, and you will give our picks here in just a second. But give me a thought as we go into this weekend with LSU and Tennessee on what you're expecting out of these two teams.
Man, I think you're going to just get an extremely hard-fought series. You know, Tennessee lost 2 out of 3 at home to Kentucky last week, and I felt like their bats may be cooling off a little bit. I know LSU, you know, they won 2 out of 3 against Bama, and you know, who knows what happened Tuesday, but it's midweek, so who cares? I mean, I don't know. I think the key for LSU, I like LSU to take 2 out of 3 in the series. I do think it's going to be tough tonight against Liam Doyle, who's been the best pitcher in college baseball. I mean, everything I've seen out of him this year, I mean, you know, I can see LSU, you know, if they're going to win tonight, I think it's a 3-2 type game. Cade Anderson is also excellent. Going to have to pitch really, really well. You know, the way Doyle's been pitching, I have a hard time seeing LSU putting up 7 or 8 runs tonight. But I like LSU's staff. LSU's got a better pitching staff than Tennessee, but other than Doyle.
Yeah.
And so I like LSU. If LSU does lose tonight, I think they win the next 2.
You know, Mintzy, it's interesting. In back-to-back road weekends. Other than that, he's been magnificent. I mean, the guy's got, 114? Is 114 strikeouts and 58 innings pitched, something like that? It's absurd what he's been able to do right now. But Cade Anderson's been equally. Thought on a big takeaway, one big impression from round 1 of the draft last night?
Man, yeah, well, you know, the dart thing to the Giants is going to be fun to follow. Now, I'd heard in the draft process with the Saints, you know, obviously all the Ole Miss people are wanting them to go to New Orleans. But I think you're going to watch, man, the Saints stuff I hear is they love Tyler Show, and I'm looking for the Saints to take him with the 47th overall pick today. You know, he's 25 or 26. He's had 3 season-ending injuries, so there's a lot of questions. But all my sources have told me that's the guy the Saints have wanted the whole time. So going to be watching for that. You know, the Travis Hunter thing was real interesting, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Saints, the one last thing actually I do want to mention, and Kelvin Banks could end up being great. I'm not complaining about the pick. But the thing that I think angers me still is the Saints are still paying 4 years later for that stupid Trevor Penning trade.
Yep.
When they traded up, got Penning, he busted. The Eagles got Jalen Carter with that pick the next year. And the Saints have had to use 2 more first-round picks trying to correct that mistake on linemen the last couple of years.
Great point.
I think that's what's frustrating.
Cleaners. And we continue to see it. But the Saints have an owner who doesn't seem to care. Just keep letting Mickey set piles of money on fire and running this team into the ground. But we'll see how the day goes. Buse, hit our intro if you would.
Play ball!
It's time to cash some tickets. Let's preview the college baseball weekend with Ben Mintz of Barstool Sports. Presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, I am on location, so I can't see the graphic, the catch-up graphic. And a couple of weeks ago, we were at Don Juan, and the week before that, I think Paulie was out that. I don't know if Paulie – Muse, maybe let me know in my ear. Does Paulie have the total up right now?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, cool. Muse, I tell you what, since you're looking at it, open your mic and let us know where our standings are right now.
Sure. Can do. So these are like 2 weeks ago, the last time we, picked games. Scone, you went 2-1. I went 1-2. Mincy, you went 2-1. Currently, Scone, you're 9-4-1 overall, leading. I am 7-5, and then Mincy is 8-7.
Okay. There is no logical sense for me to be good at this. None. And maybe it's one of those things where when you know nothing, you're actually you can maybe do better at sports betting. Anyway, all right, Mincy, you start us off, man. Fire away. What you got?
All right, I'm starting off. It's a funny one. But we need to go European soccer and relegate Missouri out of SEC baseball.
No, we need a doormat, bro. Dude,
Yeah.
you need a doormat, bro. LSU needed those 3 wins to start conference play.
Yeah, Ole Miss needed them too and swept them. But I'm taking Alabama minus 5.5 runs against Missouri. I don't care.
He's laying 5.5.
The conference game.
On Friday night in the conference. Okay. All right, Mincy's laying 5.5. Muse, what you got?
Well, I was going to lay the 5.5 as well. But I don't. Particular. I'll start out on the West Coast. Oregon State, Oregon, Civil War on the diamond. Oregon State, who is a perennial top 5 team. They have a great RPI. They're a road dog here. I'm going to take them minus 105 on the money line to get it done up in Eugene.
Okay. I think Arkansas is a really good team. I know they're at Florida. I think Florida stinks. I think this is a huge bounce back spot for Arkansas. I am what's our cutoff? Again, remind me, guys, what's our cutoff on the money line price?
I think it was 200, and I think Arkansas is minus 180.
They're 180. I mean, Mincy, I'll leave it up to you guys. Like, I was going to lay the 1.5 at minus 130.
I think it's better for the spirit of this to lay the run and a half.
I'm with that. Okay, I'm with it.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm with it. I'll stand by it. I'll lay the 1.5 with Arkansas. It's at Florida, but I think a desperate situation here for Arkansas after a disappointing weekend. Give me Arkansas. I'll lay on the run line. I'll lay 1.5 at a minus 130 price. Give me Arkansas minus 1.5 at Florida. Mincy, what's your second one?
Man, my second one's kind of a big underdog shot, but I just think the line's too crazy in Mississippi State at Auburn. The over-under's only 10, and Mississippi State, as y'all know, has a really good Friday night guy. Coming back at plus 170, I'm taking a shot on Mississippi State on the road tonight.
Okay. Muse, number 2.
I've got Mincy's Rebels. I'm taking Ole Miss to beat Vanderbilt outright on the money line minus 125. Vanderbilt's playing better as of late, but I'm still just not really sold on them. They don't look like Vanderbilt. And, I mean, Hunter Elliott, yeah, I'll take that.
All right. My second, this is a blind play for me. I look at the highest run total on a Friday, and I play the under. Today it's BYU, Arizona State. Don't know a lick about either team. But it's the total 16, so I'll go under 16 on BYU, Arizona State. So let's get some pitching and defense out there in the desert tonight. BYU, Arizona State, under 16. Mincy, what's your third?
Man, my third one, look, I've been riding this well hard, and I've made it very well known. I've got a huge future on them at 50-1. It's now 18-1. I'm taking Texas A&M and Austin plus 110. The reason Texas got some terrible news with Jared Spencer, their eighth shoulder injury out for the year. They moved their number 2 starter up tonight. He's pitched really well so far this year. But, man, A&M's just really hot, and I think they're on a mission from God this weekend to beat Coach Sloss. And they got Ryan Prager throwing tonight. So give me the plus 110. I think the Aggies stay hot and get it done tonight.
Muse, what's your final one?
I'm just going to take a shot here and go with the local team. This is a big series in the Southland between McNeese and UT Rio Grande Valley. Rio Grande Valley's leading McNeese is leading. Grand Valley's right behind him. McNeese a road underdog, plus 124. Give me the Pokes, man.
Mincy, I know we're talking about the spirit of this, and I'm not copycatting. I have my plays written down. There is no way I'm betting. When I see Texas A&M plus money in this game, with Jared Spencer, Texas's ace is out for the year. A&M is as hot as anybody in the country, and they have the legit, revenge, go kick the crap out of your rival. Yeah, of course I'm taking A&M. A plus money price is almost unfathomable. I don't know what they're maybe I'm the idiot. Mitzi, maybe you and I are idiots, but yes, Texas A&M on the money line, plus 110. I will gobble that up tonight. That's my third play as well. The Aggies on the money line tonight to
Look, man, I think this A&M team they're going on a huge run. I mean, I think it's happening. I mean, they're up to 8-10 in the SEC now. They may end up getting to host a regional after the 1-9 start, because winning series at Arkansas and at Tennessee is just so big for their RPI. If they, they're going to be in the hosting talk after being 1-9.
And sometimes, Mitzi, you got to get some luck along the way and catching. I completely agree with you. And then my hope from an LSU perspective is next week you got to go to College Station, but hopefully you're catching A&M on a little bit of a come down after the Texas weekend with Schloss and everything we talked about. But the flip side of it is LSU has a real emotional weekend this weekend with Texas or with Tennessee rather, and a really significant weekend for both these teams to kind of keep pacing toward 20-10 in conference. So massive weekend, man. I mean, 12 games left, 4 weekends left in conference play, and it's going to be a big one here tonight. So we'll see how it goes.
My last observation is Tennessee and LSU, two most wild, rowdy, kind of toxic fan bases in the country. Anytime Tennessee and LSU play in anything, it's just sit back and watch it explode.
Yeah, and Mintz, I don't even know if you know this, but we talked about it a bit ago. LSU is honoring it's the 25-year anniversary of the 2000 National Championship team. They're honoring the 1975 SEC champion. So, LSU's pulling out a lot. You're pushing the emotional buttons. They'll have Skip out there and the 2000 team on Saturday night. I mean, it's going to be one of those types of weekends at the box. This might be a attendance record type weekend at the box. Don't be surprised if we see something like that.
Awesome. Are you making it out to Jazz Fest any this year? I remember you went to Foo Fighters last year. No,
Mitzi. So I go one day every year. It's about the one thing that I can do. I put on my calendar. I'm make sure Erica knows. I'm this one day I'm gone. So last year Foo Fighters. 2 years ago I went to see Steve Miller. Saw Chili Peppers a few years ago. So my favorite band in the world is Pearl Jam, and they're playing next Saturday. So I will be there early to late for Pearl Jam next Saturday at Jazz Fest. It's been on my calendar since they announced it. Yeah.
Awesome. I saw him at Wrigley Field last summer. It was unbelievable.
I'm super jealous, man. It's been a minute. I've seen him a ton, Mincy, but I haven't seen him in a decade. So the fact that they're coming here at Jazz Fest, I'm fired up, man. I'll be there next Saturday. Looking forward to it.
I love that. It's the first Jazz Fest forever I've missed. So enjoy.
Well, dude, I'll see you in a couple of weeks when I'm up in Chicago. We'll connect at Barrett. Looking forward to that too.
Absolutely. Y'all take it easy. Good luck this weekend.
All right, Mincy. We'll see you, man. That's Ben Mintz at Stool Mincy. Y'all give him a follow. Of course, a DraftKings partner there at Barstool. We love that partnership as well, so we appreciate Mincy for his time. Don't make no sense, y'all. I'm 9-4-1 on these picks this year. Muse is 7-5. Is Mincy 8-7 or 7-8?
He's 8-7.
We all got our head above water. Just unfathomable that I whatever. I don't know. All right, it's after further review. All right, in 16 minutes, we're going to announce our $10,000 winner from Parish Construction and Roofing, and Ross Jackson's going to be here as well again in 16 minutes from right now. Looking forward to that conversation. Ross has a report up, as a matter of fact, at LouisianaSports.net, kind of about the Saints and their quarterback approach this weekend. So we'll get Ross in about 15 minutes, and we'll also set the stage when we come back for the LSU guys and what we're looking at here for the weekend ahead. So don't you move. It's AFR. We're brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar, live from the Zurich Classic at the Walk-Ons tent. Stick around.
AFR.
Y'all, the weekend's here, and my goodness, the weather's gorgeous. But sunshiny and beautiful. At Clegg's Nursery, any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You live in Central, you know exactly where that is. You're leaving Central, heading toward downtown, like right as you pass the "Thank you for visiting Central" sign. It's right there on the right. You can't miss it, the giant Garden Center. If you're not sure what to plant, doesn't matter, they know. Take a picture of your yard, your flower bed, your outdoor spaces. They'll have great ideas for you. Just pick something pretty and just plant something. They got everything, the best selection, the best prices, the best people. Clegg's has been around for 60 years, y'all. It's Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations. Get in your garden, family, fun activities. Take care of it, y'all. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in today at Clegg's Nursery.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances. Smart Energy Future.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Ross Jackson will be here in a little more than 10 minutes from right now. The spring transfer portal window closes today on Friday, and Brian Kelly at the start of this portal window said he wouldn't be surprised if nobody entered the portal or if they didn't bring anyone in via the portal. And it's understandably why. LSU's done a really good job of recruiting their roster. They obviously had a great portal class when they added 16 players in the December portal window. So the roster felt set, but it also is a little unrealistic to expect there to be no movement because you go through spring and guys know where they fit, right, in the pecking order. Well, we've seen 2 LSU players enter the portal already, John Emery, who we knew, and then Javen Nicholas, a former walk-on wide receiver who had earned a scholarship, looking for more playing time, understandable. Added anybody via the portal, although we did learn on Thursday that LSU was hosting the top available player in the transfer portal for a visit. And it was at a position that we all knew that they might target, and that would be Bernard Gooden from South Florida. Bernard Gooden, the #1 available prospect in the transfer portal, a defensive tackle from South Florida. Started his career at Wake Forest, was there for 2 years. Last 2 years at South Florida, looking to play his 5th and final season somewhere else. He's visiting LSU this weekend. Well, with that news now, there's news of another LSU player entering the transfer portal, and it's Dylan Battle, one of the freshmen in. Surprising for a couple of reasons. First of all, I want to remind you about Dylan Battle a little bit here. So Dylan Battle, 6'2", 315. He's a guy who comes to LSU, was a 3-star prospect out of the Dallas area. He's born in Michigan, but he's out of the Dallas area. A consensus, again, 3-star, the number 59 defensive tackle, the number 83 overall player in Texas. But that wasn't necessarily the super important thing. The important thing for Dylan Battle was his relationship with Bo Davis. If you remember this, we spoke on this show with Robert DeSanto, who was Dylan Battle's high school coach. After Dylan Battle committed and signed with LSU, this was Robert DeSanto on AFR talking about the relationship that Dylan Battle had with Bo Davis.
I think it speaks volumes to not only just Dylan's commitment to the Tigers, but Dylan's commitment to Bo, because as soon as Bo left Texas, he knocked on my door one day, and I said, I didn't realize Dylan was that high on LSU's board. And his exact words were, I don't know if he's high on their board. I really hadn't even been to the office yet, but he's high on my board. And he's a guy that I want no matter where I'm at. So I think that relationship that they have is definitely something that played favors.
So the primary reason Dylan Battle ended up at LSU was Bo Davis. Bo Davis got the LSU job, immediately goes to recruit Dylan Battle, and then all of a sudden, Battle's a member of LSU's class. Well, now Bo Davis is the defensive line coach of the New Orleans Saints. Shouldn't come as a great surprise, especially now, Bo Davis gone, and you go through this spring, the Tigers are adding potentially another defensive lineman here, hosting Bernard Gooden. And while, yes, Bernard as Jacoby and Guillory, you could look at Don McKinley, Ahmad Bro ahead of him, and a crowded freshman class of added. It's a crowded room. They're looking at someone ahead. The guy that recruited him here is now gone. It makes a lot of sense why someone like Dylan Battle might be looking elsewhere. For what it's worth, this was Brian Kelly on National Signing Day about Dylan Battle.
Dylan Battle is another player for us that fulfilled the defensive tackle position, heavy-handed, physical inside. Bo Davis really liked his ability to disrupt at the defensive tackle position.
That is, the whole crux of Brian Kelly's statement on signing day was about Bo Davis liking the player. So Bo Davis liked the player. Bo Davis is no longer here. It's a crowded room. Player has an opportunity to look elsewhere. He's taken it. So Dylan Battle, before he ever takes a snap, plays it down at LSU, enters the transfer portal. I think there's two prongs to this conversation. It's Dylan Battle leaving. It's also, what does this mean about Bernard Gooden? So We know LSU did a bang-up job in the December portal window. They added 16 players. The number one, or depending on what service you subscribe to, the number one or number two portal class, LSU, Texas Tech were the two. So you look at the situation where the Tigers had 16 transfers, one of them on the defensive line with Sadir Mitchell, in addition to the guys that we just mentioned. Now all of a sudden you're looking at adding Bernard Gooden. Dylan Battle goes elsewhere. So you look at this defensive line spot. It's pretty easy to break down why that's a place where LSU is targeting. Again, I need to reiterate this. They weren't just looking to add a body. They don't just need to add a defensive lineman. You had 9 scholarship guys with Jacobian Guillory and Sadir Mitchell and Sean Washington and Don McKinley and Ahmad Bro, and then the 4 freshmen you were bringing in. You had 9. You had 9 interior defensive linemen. You don't need numbers. Of those 9, though, Jacobian Guillory had the most starts with 5. So if you could find someone who had a wealth of experience at the Power 5 level that could give you something you don't have among your 9, that would make sense. So you look at a guy like Bernard Gooden, who started 11 of the 13 games this past year at South Florida. He's been around college football for 4 years, now going into his 5th year. Listen, he's 6'1", 280. He's not a massive guy, like just physically very different than Sadir Mitchell. But also remember, you got a new defensive line coach now in Kyle Williams. And Kyle Williams made it can be forceful on the interior and generate an interior pass rush is something he likes a lot. It's one of the reasons I love Don McKinley. I mean, Don McKinley in limited playing time had 3 sacks last year. But let Kyle Williams get his hands on Don McKinley. I'm fired up about that. Just a random aside. But Dylan Battle entering the transfer portal here as the deadline to enter the portal is today. LSU now is a third player. If he ever plays a snap at LSU, the Bo Davis component of that, obviously huge, and we'll see what that means. That in bringing in Bernard Gooden for a visit this weekend, Tigers feel pretty good about landing him. We'll find out in short order. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Our Friday shows are brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Always love telling you about Evermore. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Hey, look, coming out to Zurich, make sure you stay hydrated. Drink plenty of Evermore. You know, Evermore is a product of natural underground aquifers that have been there for thousands of years. That's why they say it's Mother Nature's masterpiece. It is. By the way, like the only thing that's filtered out of it is like the sediment from the ground. Like it goes straight from the pipe in that natural artesian well right into the bottling facility. It never touches air until you uncap it and it touches your lips. It is a healthier product. It is a natural product. There's nothing added for flavor, like what you will see, by the way. Check out some bottled water. You'll see minerals added for flavor, things like nothing like that. It is as natural product as you come straight out the ground, and it's a Louisiana product as well. So don't grab that bottle that's from a tropical island just because you think it's cool. Drink a better product. Drink a Louisiana product. Drink Evermore. EVAMOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. It's been a really good show, y'all. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on this Friday edition of AFRs. We're counting down to the start of round 2 of the NFL draft. When we come back, Ross Jackson of LouisianaSports.net will be here with us. Ross has had some pretty interesting reports about what the Saints might be targeting on the at quarterback here in day 2 of the draft. So we'll get to that as we continue. Ross Jackson is next, and we'll have our $10,000 winner announced for the Parish Construction and Roofing $10,000 giveaway. We'll do that when we return. Stay with us here on this Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar from the Zurich Classic.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance, 2 amazing hotel properties. If you're looking to host an event in 2025, why would you go anywhere other than Watermark or Renaissance? You have the Watermark in downtown Baton Rouge right there. The premier hotel, voted by you the best hotel in the best of 225, the Watermark Hotel. Hey, look, it's the old Louisiana National Bank building, and so it's preserved so much of the history while adding modern amenities. So maybe you got a wedding reception you're looking to host, or maybe it's a private dining event that you want for a dozen people. It's so cool how they've taken the dozen, the old bank vaults and converted them into hotel in downtown Baton Rouge. It's the Watermark and the Renaissance.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile the bank that cares about you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Work or play. Sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Day 2 of the NFL Draft just about to resume. The Saints will pick 40th overall. We do have to spin the wheel to give you the name of our winner for the Parrish Construction and Roofing 10K giveaway. Normally when I'm in studio, I can share this screen with you. I'm going to video it on my phone as I do it here on site. I'll announce the winner, but we will post this video so everybody can see the name is on the up and up. I'm going to go ahead, hit record. We're going to spin the wheel, and this will spit out a name. This will be our 10K giveaway winner from Parrish Construction and Roofing. The winner of the $10,000 is Warren Fitzmaurice. Congratulations to Warren Fitzmaurice. You are the winner of $10,000 courtesy of Parrish Construction and Roofing. Warren Fitzmaurice, our 10K giveaway winner. Look at CV. My God, I tell you what, dude. K. Voisin on site. Got them the clap track rolling on site. I appreciate it. Congrats to Warren Fitzmaurice. Thanks to everyone who entered. And by the way, we did 5K. Now we've done 10K. We're going to do it again. And by the way, if you've entered for 5K or 10K, you're automatically entered and enrolled into the next giveaway as well. You can only win once, but don't fear. You'll be entered into the next one, whatever cockamamie Mount Theriot wants to give away next. He's told me he wants to give away $100,000. I'm like, we got to sell a lot of roofs. We're going to be able to give away $100,000. We'll see. Anyway. All right. Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, Locked on Saints, joins us. Ross, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
Hey, sorry, buddy. Actually, this is Warren Fitzmaurice. I'm calling for my
for your
$10,000.
For your $10,000. Very well done.
Thanks for having me on, man. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Warren. Actually, I'm going to put you on hold, Warren. I'd like to talk to Ross about the draft at this point. Excuse me. Hey, congratulations, by the way. While we were all talking Jackson Dart and Mykel Williams, your final mock draft at LouisianaSports.net had the Saints taking Kelvin Banks. So you nailed it. What did you know that we didn't?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a little bit of reading the tea leaves. It's a little bit of good information, all these other things. But, I mean, a big part of it is the one thing that I would get back to is going all the way back to when I was kind of stalking Kellen Moore during the Super Bowl week. He has talked all about how he wants to build from the inside out, how important the trenches are. If he had it his way, he'd throw it 50 times. But listen, you got to be able to run the football, all these other things. And it just felt like when you look back at this 2024 New Orleans Saints team, a big deficiency for them was up front on the offensive line. It felt like that was a place that they would want to get more solidified. And the best way to do that in this year's draft was going to be, especially if you're looking for a tackle, which seems to be the case for New Orleans, the best way to do it was going to be in the first round at pick number 9. And you got a guy that is a potential all-pro in Kelvin Banks Jr. So excited to see him in Kellen Moore's offense.
Okay, Ross, so one of the gigantic questions is about quarterback. And if the Saints were actually ever interested in Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders, I know you have a report up at LouisianaSports.net.
Expect the New Orleans Saints to be calling Shedeur Sanders' name today at pick number 40. And, in fact, I would be equally unsurprised to hear no quarterback called for New Orleans by the end of the day, as I would be to hear a quarterback called by New Orleans by the end of the day. It just doesn't feel like they're in the business right now of rushing to go and get a quarterback. They have a lot of faith in Kellen Moore and being able to look back at the things that he has done. Lindsey Drury talking a little bit about this over at ESPN earlier today, speaking about how, like, he's won with Cooper Rush. He's won with Kenny Pickett. He's won with Tanner McKee. And so apparently there's just a lot of faith in what it is that Kellen Moore might be able to do. So instead of going fishing for high upside, they have a guy with high upside in the building already in Spencer Rattler, and they would probably feel just as comfortable rolling with him as they would reaching for any quarterback. So I wouldn't expect them to go overreaching, rushing, or sprinting for any of the quarterbacks right now in this draft. And it certainly sounds like Shedeur Sanders, his fall might continue, because I've been checking it with some of the people that I know that cover the Browns and some of the sources that are over there as well. And it sounds like they're not necessarily in a rush at quarterback either. So we might watch Shedeur Sanders' fall continue even beyond the New Orleans Saints because he would be expected to be on the board there at this point. And I don't think New Orleans would call his name.
Boy, that would be interesting, man. That would feel a lot like what we saw with Malik Willis a few years ago, where he plummeted into round 3. Okay, wait, so you said no quarterback here on day 2. What about a quarterback on day 3?
Yeah, look, I still think quarterback on day 2 could happen. I'll say that real quick, too. It's just the big thing is going to be, is the quarterback the best player available? I think that's where the New Orleans Saints are going to be going. And there's a good chance that at 40, at 71, and at 93, here in the top 100, that they could get contributing players at other positions that could be the better players that are available. But if the best player available is on the board as a quarterback, then I do think that they would go for that. I just don't think they're going to overreach. Going into tomorrow, where they have 2 fourth-round picks, a 6th-round pick, and a pair of 7th-round picks, I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential developmental or competitive quarterback coming in. A guy like Syracuse's Kyle McCord. You could even look at guys like Riley Leonard and others, and then we'll see how far some of these other quarterbacks drop too. Because you imagine that as far as Tyler Shuck, as far as Shedeur Sanders continue to fall, that maybe guys like Jalen Milroe continue to fall as well. And the further that Jalen Milroe falls, the more intriguing he becomes because of the upside that's attached to him as an athlete.
That is a factual inaccuracy. There's only one of us laughing. Anyway, okay, so Ross, at 40 then, give me a best case.
Yeah, it sounds like one of the big things right now is the potential for the drop-off at defensive end as well as wide receiver. So for New Orleans, it might be in their best interest to swing at one of those 2 spots if somebody makes sense at pick 40. A guy like Marshall, edge rusher Mike Green, a guy like Boston College edge rusher Donovan Eziraku. You can look at Princely Uman-Mielen as well out of Ole Miss. That's 3 names right there, and the Saints are only, 7 selections down on the board for this one. So there's an opportunity here for New Orleans to potentially address the other side of the trenches. If you follow the tea leaves of all the Kellen Moore chatter and building in the trenches and all these other things, building from the inside out, all of that, You listen to Brandon Staley talk about how this is a line of scrimmage game, how you have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. The game is won in the trenches. The game is won at the line of scrimmage. You have to limit the run game. And so you wonder if maybe that defensive line might be next to address, especially with the expected drop-off at edge rusher. But certainly going out and getting another offensive weapon could make sense here.
Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, of course, Locked On Saints as well. Okay, Ross, if we know Mickey Loomis, his forte is always trade up. They had 3 picks today. Would we assume the possibility of an aggressive move up for a certain player or position here on day 2?
Yeah, I think if you see something early, then it might be for one of those 2 positions that we just addressed, or that we just mentioned, edge rusher or wide receiver. If we see something like them packaging 71 and one of their 3rd-round picks and one of their 4th-round picks, then I think maybe that could be a leap to go up and get a quarterback that they do like, where they feel that the value is right. I think that's where quarterback could potentially come into play for sure. The other thing that I would be watching out for is cornerback. The New Orleans Saints, in 6 of their last 10 drafts, have taken a defensive back in day 2. 5 of those picks have been in the 2nd round. And so they love their day 2 defensive backs. You think back to, Stanley Jean-Baptiste. You go back to, you go back to Von Bell, Marcus Williams, Alontae Taylor last year, Kool-Aid McKinstry. All those guys were 2nd-round picks within the last decade. And so if the New Orleans, or within the last 10 drafts, And so, if New Orleans sees a guy that they like in the defensive back area, I could certainly see that being a place where they potentially look to move up, much like they did for Paulson Adebo in the 3rd round just a few years ago.
Yeah. He is Ross Jackson. It is after further review. We're here at the Zurich Classic. Ross, 9 picks for this team, 8 more. How many do you assume they'll make?
I think that they'll make up to about 7 more. I could see them packaging a pair of picks in order to move up. Maybe they leverage something from next year, but I don't know that they're really keen to do that. My understanding is that they were indeed trying to make calls to move back up into the 1st round yesterday, and they didn't get that done. You look at the trades where that did get done. New York, they moved up, had to give up a 2nd-round pick for next year. Atlanta inexplicably gave up a 1st-round pick for next year to move up into the bottom half of the 1st round. I don't think New Orleans is really in the game of leveraging their future picks, which is another one of those reasons why I'm not so sure that they're in a rush to go and grab a quarterback, much like most of the NFL seems to be in this draft. And so, with them keeping and trying to maybe stockpile some of those draft picks for the future, it makes a little bit of sense that maybe they're making the play to see what might be available to them next year if they're in position of needing a quarterback still after the 2025.
Wait, Ross, I don't want to miss this point. So if the Saints were, in fact, making calls about moving back into the 1st round on Thursday, was that for a quarterback?
It could have been for a quarterback. It could very well have been for one of those falling edge rushers, too. Again, that drop-off seems to be a concern for NFL teams. You think about wide receiver potentially being an option there. And then I would even put maybe, you look at one of the corners that went late, Maxwell Harrison out of University of Kentucky. Maybe that's the guy that they might have been targeting too. But otherwise, it could have been a quarterback. The only one that makes sense in that scenario then, without them looking to move up today, would have been Jackson Dart. But I think that they like Shuck more than Dart. But I don't know that they're really in a rush to reach for any of these guys. So maybe there was a chance they were trying to move up for a quarterback, but I still think that there were other positions that might have been even more tempting at that point.
By the way, I love Maxwell Harrison's energy. Like, he was the guy in the the silver and blue suit. Like, if you're watching the draft, every player before when their name was called and they came out, like, he was the guy, like, so, like, fired up, like he was their dad. Like, I mean,
he was family. Yeah,
seriously, bro. It was so good. And so when he got his name called, like, it felt so good for that dude. Anyway, great energy, so good for him. All right, Ross, anything else before, as we're here about 17 minutes away from the resumption of the draft, anything else you think is important for people to know?
Yeah, I think the other thing to watch out for here is that even though the Saints took Kelvin Banks Jr. in the 1st round, I don't know that they're necessarily finished playing around with their offensive line. Now, that doesn't mean at 40, but there's a chance that going into round 3, there's some really good interior offensive linemen in that area. Tate Radledge out of Georgia, Jared Wilson out of Georgia, Dylan Fairchild also of Georgia. Georgia's interior offensive line entered the draft, and it's some of the best you're going to find in this class. And so I think guys like that could potentially be interesting to them as they continue to look to fortify the trenches. So I expect there to still be more big men in this draft on both sides of the line.
Get him on Twitter, X, at Ross Jackson Nola, at Ross Jackson Nola. You can hear him or watch him on the Locked On Saints podcast. Chris, you can read him at LouisianaSports.net. The guy who nailed the Saints pick when idiots like me were talking about Jackson Dart. So that's why he does what he does. At Ross Jackson Nola. Thank you, man.
Thank you, bud. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon. And congrats, Warren. Appreciate you.
Yes, Warren Thank you, Warren Fitzmaurice, a.k.a. Ross Jackson, a.k.a. Warren Fitzmaurice, the winner of our $10,000 from Paris Construction and Roofing. Congrats to Warren Fitzmaurice, who wins the 10K giveaway. If you didn't win, again, don't worry. Your name, just like all of our 5K giveaway entrants, are all rolled into this drawing as well. So you'll be rolled into our next one whenever we do it next. So if you didn't win, don't worry. You're still on the list. All right, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. They're the best. Dr. Blake Williamson is awesome no matter your age or refractive issue. There's a guy who popped over here earlier today. I get to see him every year that we're here. Ryan Hodgins is his name, and Ryan popped over here at the walk-ons tent and he said, "Hey, I'm the LASIK guy." He's he called Dr. Blake Williamson, had LASIK. He was scared of it. Like, he was scared of the laser, the whole thing. And I told him, you got to go for the consultation. Dr. Blake walked him through the whole process. He told me, I cannot imagine ever popping a contact into my eyeball again. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. The Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let's see. I did the LSU-Tennessee game. They're watching the radar. There is a system north of Baton Rouge that's expected to arrive around 6:30. So I'm waiting to see if there is an official announcement about. I'll pass it along to you, but just be mindful of this, that there could be we could be watching some weather. We are watching some weather there at the box tonight for LSU and Tennessee. Okay, final break. We'll come back and wrap up our Friday AFR from the Zurich Classic, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR.
You know, on a day like this when it's 83 degrees, sun shining, I'm standing here in a little shade and got a little sweat as well rolling through, you know what's here. Summer staring us in the face. We're going to have 100-degree temps right around the bend. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You can spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. They'll come to your house. They'll make sure your AC is tuned up, running efficiently, and the diagnostic is so important as well because what they're doing is looking to see if there's anything wrong. And it's not necessarily like they're looking for things to fix, but what they're looking to do is find things that could be potentially small issues that would lead to a really big issue. So let them check that out, fix it, so you maybe pay for a small repair instead of a gigantic one later, and extend the life of your unit. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, 756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
It's really fundamentals, I got to attack the zone. I got to throw multiple pitches for strikes, execute locations. And really what I would say to that is good pitching beats good hitting. And we need our pitchers to be themselves, and much like I just said about their team, our guys do what they do very well, at least the guys that, throw the majority of the innings. And so we'll rely on that this weekend.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Again, a million thanks to Brandon Landry and the Walk-Ons team for hosting us here at the Walk-Ons tent on the 17 green. Beautiful day here in Avondale at the Zurich Classic TPC of Louisiana. I'm not exactly sure. I'm right in the middle of the tournament. I'm not exactly sure what happened on the golf course today, but it sounds like Rory and Shane Lowry had a good day, which is really massive for the tournament because you want your headliners to play into the weekend. And they set an attendance record last year on the Saturday of the tournament. As Steve Worthy told us earlier today, I think they came just shy of that record today, but they are expecting, especially with Rory here, they're expecting to break that record tomorrow. So fingers crossed, here's hoping. It's great to see this event continue to grow and flourish, and we appreciate our friends from the Zurich Classic, the 4Kids Foundation, for hosting us here on this Friday each year of the Zurich Classic and getting to help spread the great word about the 4Kids Foundation and just have a really fun day here. So all things considered, really, really good day. LSU baseball and Tennessee, they're set for a 6:30 first pitch. That might alter, as I understand. They are keeping an eye. Let me see. What I've been told is pregame. The pregame show was supposed to start at 6 for a 6:30 broadcast, and I think what I understand is they're not starting pregame at 6. So that would tell me that they're delaying the start time. I don't have anything more than that. But, again, we're just going to keep an eye on the start time for LSU and Tennessee tonight to see how if that might get pushed back a little because, again, there's apparently they're monitoring weather just north of Baton Rouge. So, obviously, you don't want to start the game, have it interrupted by weather, and then your two starting pitchers are shelved for the weekend. So that's why you would prefer to delay it, let the system pass, and then get started with the game. So, tune to Eagle 98.1. They'll have updates there. Of course, it's on the LSU Sports Radio Network, and we'll have it as well. We'll have it at louisianasports.net, so whenever we hear something, we'll pass it along to you. One thing worth keeping an eye on this weekend is going to be Connor Ware. Of course, Connor Ware got the start Game 3 this past weekend. Does he get another? Reporters, and he was asked about the outing Ware had against Bama.
I thought he did a good job. I really believe he's a good pitcher and has a good future ahead of him. I think he's different than a lot of the guys we have, and sometimes that can add value. And he'll certainly be a part of this weekend. I'm glad we got 6 days to recover. For him, that's important. So he'll be a part of it. I don't know in what capacity just yet, but I really like it when he's out there, and I think he's trending in a good direction.
Back on February the 26th, and I know it's early. That was early in this season. But back on February 26th, I tweeted, and someone went back, found this tweet, and quote tweeted it today. But that was the game at Dallas Baptist. It was the midweek game at Dallas Baptist. And Connor Ware went 4 innings of 1-run ball that day. The only thing he allowed was a solo homer. And he struck out 6, didn't walk anybody. And so I tweeted, Connor Ware has 6 strikeouts and hasn't allowed a base runner through 4 innings pitched. 3 dudes on the weekend. The 3 dudes on the weekend should be looking over their shoulder. Now, Dallas Baptist is a good baseball team, and that was a midweek game at the big league ballpark. And it just goes to show you what's in there for Connor Ware. He's a big, strong, hard-throwing lefty. He is different, as Jay said, from whoever else they have. And he could be a differentiator. You know, you have 2 aces going today. You have 2 really good Saturday guys going tomorrow. And both teams have a big question mark on Sunday if in fact Connor Ware gets out there. We'll wrap up the show with this, an ode to our buddy Theriot as the 2000 National Championship team will honor.
Here's the stretch, the 0-1. Swung on line drive, base hit. Theriot around third. He heads for home. Here's the throw. He is safe. Tigers win. Tigers win. Tigers win.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.